We're live here on Sunday, pinch hitting for the Action Lab. Of course, DevilDoc's going to join me here in a moment. There he is. So,
What up?
welcome in, Chairman. It's been a while. Glad to see you. We're here to talk about going to preview the MLB season. Getting every team's win-loss totals. Me and Doc probably going to complain about our teams. You know, the usual stuff.
Definitely.
For all the visitors spectating, thank you for doing so. Consider becoming a member of the Wrecking Crew. And of course, go check out Doc on his page as well, on his Twitch. I'll go throw it in the chat. Check out Doc as well.
Appreciate you.
By coming on and helping me out with this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think Chairman will enjoy what I have to say today. So
Yeah, I bet. So yeah, me and Doc are both live on our separate channels. Doc is on his Twitch. I'm here on the playback. And they did promise on the on all the socials where we promoted that they gave out a promo code right off the bat from my OddsShopper. For everyone else, it goes out tomorrow, but for anyone watching, MLB 2K25 is the promo code to get 20% off of my OddsShopper bets for all the baseball bets for the whole season. Getting that out of the way right off the bat. Sure, Doc, how you doing?
Doing good. Excited to talk baseball. I'm excited it's back. I mean, we already had a bomb by homeboy over there. You know, Shohei already hit a nuke over there in
No
Tokyo.
surprise.
Yeah. So against a friendly against some local teams over there. So baseball's back.
Yep. And the reason we're doing it so early is because even though everyone's opening day is 11 days from today, the Cubs and the Dodgers start playing, what is it, Tuesday?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, their regular season begins on Tuesday for for the Japanese series. Which of course the Dodgers have a bunch of Japanese teams, so figure go ahead and get it before they start playing and figure out what every team is gonna do.
Right.
Yeah, we could probably do the over unders like Axlab does, like like you do one first, then I do one first, and keep track of them. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
I'm being rated. Give me a second.
you're being rated. Oh, nice. Who's rating you?
Danny, one of my friends. She's a musician, talented musician. Oh my goodness.
Nice. Holy
What's
crap,
up,
there's a lot of people in your chat.
It is. Welcome, Dinos. I appreciate you guys. How are we doing? Oh my goodness. Oh, hey Millie. Good to see you again. Duck.
So,
What's up, Danny? How was stream? I'm so sorry I missed everything today. I was extremely busy. I'm so sorry.
And you got a hype train.
I do have a hype train. Thank you so much for the hype train. Dinos, how are we doing?
Let's go.
Man, thank you for the follow. How are we doing today, Dinos? How was your end of your weekend? There it is. That's what I was looking for. Yeah. What's up, Chairman? Welcome in.
I gotta get my harmonica nearby just to, like, for whenever there's a hype train here on your channel on AgSlab or wherever. Gotta get my harmonica. Yeah.
Keep the gaze. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome in. How's everybody's Sunday? I hope you guys are well. Yes, Chairman, you're going to be excited for this, and I think Orioles fan. Thank you. I thought you already followed me, Orioles. Okay, but welcome in, O's fan. I appreciate you. Go ahead, Rick. What you were saying? Sorry about that.
Yeah. With all that happening, I think we could go ahead and start with the over-unders, and let's start with the American League champions, the New York Yankees. Currently, their lines across all the different sports books between 8.5 wins, 89.5 point wins, which, I mean, granted, it makes a lot of sense considering what happened, but that's still very low for a team that literally just went to the World Series.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at it. I mean, I think baseball this year is going to be a lot more. I don't know. I think you know how they say there's parity in sports.
Yeah.
I think this year, I think a lot of teams are going to be between 95 and 85 wins. I just think, especially with all the talent that's been coming up, and everybody plays everybody now. You know, with the baseball schedule, so I just think that 90, considering they lost Garrett Cole, I think that this win total would have been higher if he was healthy. But since he's out for the season, I think 90 is probably pretty much going to be. I think that would be correct since they lost their ace.
So you think they win 90 games? So you think they you just hit the over?
Yeah, I think they hit around 90 to 92 games. You know, the 92-70 mark, one of the classic marks, 92-70, right around there. Um, you know, especially if Cole was healthy, I think they hit 95. I think they have the talent and stuff like that. Still, I still think the rest of the team will still be able to pick up the slack. I think obviously, you know, you have Aaron Judge, so you're never out of a ball game ever.
Exactly. Of course, they did lose one Soto in free agency as well as signed a
Right,
probably like the biggest deal in sports history to go to the Mets. Yeah, that's a big loss. I would say
right,
last year the Yankees did show that they finally have depth. Of course, 2 years ago they lost Cole, they lost Judge, and everything was bad.
right,
Last year they lost Cole and Judge for a little bit, and they just kept winning no matter what. Yeah, so yeah, for that I think I'm
right.
with you. I'll lean the over.
Barely. You know, we're both
Yeah,
agreeing. I
yeah,
think
I'll
it's just
lean
going
the
to be
over.
barely.
Which for that the best odds for that is 88.5.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're going through. We're not just doing one side. We're doing all of the betting sites at once. So yeah, 88.5 is the best bet for this one, and we're gonna hit. We're both taking the over on that.
right. And like we said, I think the Garrett Cole injury, I think that will affect the line. You know, I think a lot of people are going to start panicking and take the under, but I think the Yankees are good enough that they're going to be okay. And then if they have to, they'll go out and get an arm, depending on where they're at come the summer. But you know, I
Makes
think it's
sense.
too early. I think it's too early for people to panic and hit that under button.
Yep, that's entirely fair. Yep. Then for the next one, go to the Baltimore Orioles, who they're at 87.5 to 88. Which again, like they've got all this young talent. Granted, this is a big year for the Orioles. If they don't get it done, contracts are just going to get more expensive. The manager, Brandon Hunt, might lose his job. Even like I know it's a young core, but they have to show results here soon. Say they did lose Corbin Burns, but with 87.5 to 88, I'll take the over on that. It's still a highly talented roster. There's still playmakers all over the place. Pitching could use a little bit more help, which they'll probably add at this trade deadline, like we talked about with the Yankees. But all in all, it's still a great team. They just have like what they can do in the regular season is not a problem. October is where everything's going to really be challenged for them.
Right, and you look at this Oriole team, and this is a team that's been good year in year out, but then the playoffs is the big question. At some point, they got to get over that playoff hump, especially that you know in the opening rounds when they play in the division and all that, the wild card in division. But I mean, you look at this lineup, Rec: Henderson, Westberg, Rushman, Cowser, O'Neill, O'Hearn, Mountcastle, Holiday, and Mullins. Like
Yeah.
the problem is Gunner's hurt. He has that mild right intercostal strain, which could hold him out for a little bit. Um, I still think that they have enough talent here, and I think that the last 2 years have built some animosity internally with themselves because you could tell that they were very frustrated because regular season success is very different from the postseason success, and you could see the frustration on these Oriole teams the last 2 years. How you know their hitting numbers and their pitching numbers, and they get into playoffs, and it's complete polar opposites. You know, and their rotation is Zach Eflin, Morton, Kremer, Sugano, and Povich. Because Grayson Rodriguez again is hurt. His tricep discomfort, I guess, something like that. So they're going to hold him out. Suarez also will help them. He should make the team, but um, you know, I think they might throw Suarez in the bullpen, depending on how Povich does. Either way, it gives him a lefty for the pen because, as we know, offense was the big problem going through, with their run last year and how many strikeouts they had. They weren't seeing the ball well. So I do think this is a team, again, that should be right around that mark, like 88. I do see this team competing again for the AL East. I think they're going to be, well, what number are you doing for the over-under for them?
If you, right now it's 87.5 or 88. So
Which one do you want?
like I said, like the whole point of this is that we can get the best, we can each get the best number.
Okay,
Like,
well,
I mean, at that point, like,
I'll take the 87.5 then, and I'm going to take the over on that.
yep, yeah, it makes sense. For that one, there's a few, but there's a couple here that are minus 113.
Right.
So just put that over. I'm just logging everything in here so we don't forget. Yep. So
I had
we
a good
both.
question. I had a good question in the chat though for you, Rec.
Okay.
We were asked, will the Chicago White Sox actually play something resembling baseball this year?
Actually, let me see who's. We'll get to them a little bit, but I have to see who their new manager is. I mean, there's a lot of problems with the Chicago White Sox. Also, I don't know if you heard, but Joey Gallo did not make the final White Sox roster.
Oh, good. So end up with the Pirates.
No,
Perfect.
actually, he said he's changing positions.
Oh,
Because he's no longer good at outfielder, he announced that he's becoming a pitcher.
what?
Yes.
What? Brennan, thank you for the raid. I appreciate you. How's your evening going, brother?
Hell yeah.
Magic 8 Ball says doubtful.
Yeah, doubtful. That's fair.
That's fair. It's very fair.
Yeah. All right, next up we have the Boston Red Sox, who are at 86.5 here on all accounts. I'll let you start this one off.
Which one did you say?
Boston
Sorry.
Red Sox.
This is a team. You take a look at this team. They signed Bregman. That's a huge signing. Fills in the second base. They'll have him at third. He can play second. You got Duran. He'll probably lead off. Devers, Bregman, Casa, Story, Abreu, Wong, Hamilton, Rafaela. This is a team that has a lot of questions. Like last year, I felt like they kind of started to figure it out, especially with Garrett Crochet and Bueller. I mean, they got Crochet, Huck, Bueller, Fitz, and they got our boy Quinn Priester. They took him off of our hands. So they do have a pretty solid rotation. And their lineup seems to be pretty good. I just think it depends on if this team can stay healthy. They had a lot of injuries. I think Brian Bellows hurt, Crawford's hurt, Giolito. They're all hurt. They have the pieces, but they're hurt. So my question is, are these guys going to be able to figure it out? And then when these spots go back to these guys, are they going to be on all cylinders? Are they going to be a mess? Can the offense carry? Can the defense pitching carry when it needs to? But the huge addition of Bregman, let's just be honest here. Like that is arguably one of the best signings I think Boston's had in a long time.
Yeah.
I think you can agree with me on that. Do you think Devers goes to DH?
He's been really like Devers has been really like stubborn about no, I'm a short or like whatever position he plays. Like yes, I play defense. Like I'm not DH, and he's been super stubborn about that, even though he really needs to. Like I think he's the worst in DRS, like some advanced defensive stat.
What up, Fear? Welcome in. Yeah, I mean, you take a look at this offense. Their lineup looks loaded, but can they figure it out? Especially if Devers has to go to DH. You got the defense there. Bregman is a solid third baseman. He can fill in at second. Trevor Story, can he stay healthy? Can he provide some spark? I think that this is a team, and you tell me 86 wins or 86.5 wins, I'm taking the over. I think Boston's going to be the dark horse in this AL East run, especially if that lineup stays hot and gets going. I mean, you look at top to bottom, they have arguably one of the best lineups in the AL East, let alone in the American League. You know, having to put Devers at a DH spot, I feel like shows you the potential that Boston has from an offensive standpoint. Plus, not to mention their pitching isn't too bad either.
Yeah. There's a lot of things with the Red Sox. Like one, like it doesn't matter the talent they have. Like they're usually one of the more inconsistent groups. Like
right,
unfortunately,
like
they'll come out in April either really hot or really cold, and in May they'll do a 180 completely.
Right.
So yeah, you never really know what you're gonna get with the Red Sox, no matter what the talent has. But with that said, they do have quite a bit of talent, and so eventually they do get it right. Boston will likely have a winning record, so if they hit the under, it's going to be a very tight fit. And yeah, just from like the talent alone and the fact that they'll turn it on at some point in time, I'll take the over at 86.5. Best lines for that is minus 110. 110, although each line that's listed is 86.5, so all sports books have the same for the Red Sox.
But I'm just saying, you take a look at what they have and their pitching staff. Yeah, the back end could use a little bit of help with Fitz and Priester, but you got to remember who's injured on that team to start. You still have Lucas Giolito, who's pretty good, Cutter Crawford, who's always been a good pitcher out there, and Bello. You know, this is going to test Boston's depth, but I think the offense is going to carry them some games when they're, especially in like when Fitz and Priester start. I feel like they're going to win a lot of games or lose a lot of games pretty close, like a 4-3, 3-2, 2-1. You know, kind of like every time the Pirates have Skeens out there, it's either a 1-0 or a 2-1 game, like against you guys. Every game is like a 1-run game.
Checks out.
So,
yeah. Sorry.
What do we got?
So, yeah, the next team we got is the Tampa Bay Rays. We're at 81.5. And so far, not a whole lot of movement from all these sports books. But yeah, the Rays, they were the analytical darling for the longest time, but ever since Wander Franco just decided to be a complete idiot, it's been downhill for the Rays. They've never been able to keep up. Like, they don't have that same magic with all those Rule 5 picks that they used to have.
Right.
I was going to see, like,
got?
I'm looking to see, like, who all they brought in, because I can't think of who they did off the top of my head.
Jansen. They run Danny Jansen and Johnny DeLuca, center fielder.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they just don't have that analytical magic that they did before, and they're in the tough AL East. I'm going under 81.5. It's just like not that same team that they were before.
Right, and I agree with that. Plus, you got to understand they don't even have a home. You know,
that is true.
They're not even playing at home either. The Tropicana got annihilated. So you look at this lineup. Rec. You got Yandy Diaz, Brandon Lowe, Junior Caminero, Josh Lowe, Christopher Morel, Jonathan Aranda, Danny Jansen, Johnny DeLuca, and Taylor Walls. It's not exactly a lineup, if you ask me, that's going to be one that's going to be able to carry this team in some of these games, like we talked about with Boston, New York, Baltimore. I just think they don't have enough. And then, like, yeah, you have Shane McClanahan and Drew Rasmussen, but you know, I really think that I have to agree with you. I think I'm taking the under on them to finish, and I actually have them, I think, finishing 4th or 5th in the East. So, this is a Rays team that I think will get better because Hae-Sung Kim had right shoulder surgery. They signed him. I think when he comes back, he might provide a little bit of offense, but still not enough to cover that over-under.
Yep, sounds about right. Last up in the East, in the AL East, we have the Toronto Blue Jays at 78.5, 79. I'll let you take it away.
Oh, where to start with the? Oh my gosh. This is a team. Who's your favorite player that stands out on this team?
I mean, when you think Blue Jays, first guy you think of is usually Vladdy.
Right. So I'm gonna trump you here though, and I'm gonna go with my boy Anthony Santander. I think he's going to be the guy that takes this team to the next level. I think it's not going to be this year though. I think this year is a year where the Blue Jays try to kind of get their stuff together. You know, you saw how they finished last year. I think that this is a team that very well could compete down the road. I just don't. I don't like the fact that you're trying to go up against the rest of the NL East. You were 74-88 last year. You know, this is a team that they got swept to end of the season. They had an opportunity to go 77-85, got swept. They're in a very tough division. They gave up what was it? Hold on one second. They gave up
One.
Thanks. They gave up the 5th most runs in the AL. And actually would have been top 10 in the entire league and runs given up. So the pitching has been a problem. They also only scored 671 runs last year, which was actually just on par with my Pirates and your Cardinals. Actually, literally, they finished 1 run less than you. So this is a team that I think Santander will provide some pop. I think that you look at a lineup with Bo Bichette, Vlad Guerrero, Santander, Springer, Varsho, Jimenez, Kirk, Wagner, and Clement. Excuse me. You know, this is a team that I think offensively is going to be good. I think they're going to be much better than they were last year. The problem is they're pitching. Jose Barrios, Kevin Gausman, Chris Bassett, Max Scherzer, who's like 67,000 years old. I think he's still getting paid by like 3 different teams, isn't he?
Probably.
And then Bowden Francis. So like, I think that this is a team that could surprise teams a couple games, but I still have this team. You said 86. 80, what did you say?
No. This is 78.5 to 79.
Oh, 78.5. I think they're going to be right around that mark, if not right at 500. So I'm going to take the over on this, but I'm not going to be. I'm not like this isn't going to be somebody that's going to win 90 games and surprise everybody. If they do, great. I mean, they do have the offense and the pitching got better, but they're in the AL East, people. We can't forget about that. And they're playing the Yankees, the Orioles, the Red Sox, you know, the Rays, whatever. But this is a team. The Yankees won 94 last year. The Orioles won 91 last year. They're not just going to disappear overnight. I think that Toronto probably finishes better than people think, but it's not going to be enough to contend in such a competitive AL East. I think they're going to be right at 500, like right above that over, but right at 500, like 81 and 81. I don't have them being anything higher than that.
So earlier with the Red Sox, I talked about how, you know, they're always inconsistent, but they have a time where they just turn it on. The Blue Jays also have those inconsistencies, but they don't always turn it on like that. They don't always just have that streak of games where they look like the best team ever to make up for when they look horrible.
Right.
Yeah. That, and for the talent, like I agree, talent's there, but it's kind of like going to football, kind of like the LA Chargers, where they have all that talent, but it never gels together.
Right. Oh, yeah, this is the year Keenan Allen and Mike Williams and all them, and they get it together, and then they go 7-10.
Yeah, like they have all this talent. They have the talent to go over 500, but they never do. Like they can never just get everything together. Like there's always something wrong.
Right.
This is the first one we disagree on. I'm taking the under.
Okay.
Because this is a tough division.
Right.
The Blue Jays still have consistency issues, and I don't think that they'll ever be able to. Like they're probably gonna need like new manager, like maybe new GM. I don't know. Like they need something to get everyone on the same page. The talent's there. The production just never is, and I don't know what it will take to get there. So at 78.5, 79, I'm going under. It won't be too much under. They still have the talent, but down.
So Kevin Gosman going 14-11 and Jose Barrios going 16-11 last year wasn't enough for you?
No. I mean, yeah, we just talked about how the hitting is and the pitching,
Right.
not really. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm going at 79, taking 79, taking the higher numbers. You're going over, so you're taking the lower number.
Right. I'm just taking barely over, but I'm taking the over.
Yeah. So for the AL Central, let's start with the division champions, the Cleveland Guardians, who Vegas is not very fond of. 81.5 to 82.5, so they have them hovering right around 500. Let's start on this one, and
You
like,
want me? Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
yeah, like everything to me is screaming under, but I'm afraid it's a trap. I'm afraid I'm getting set up in a trap here because I don't see any reason why the Guardians should be at 82, around 82 wins. They had over 90 last year. They're getting Shane Bieber back. I guess the only real question is if Steven Vogt, their manager, has a sophomore slump. He was pretty solid last year, which again, you know me, I criticize coaches all the time. Not much to criticize with Vogt last year, but yeah, if they can get Shane Bieber healthy, they should be competing for an AL title again, especially with all the pieces the Yankees lost. You still
Right.
have Jose Ramirez, you still have Stephen Kwan, you still have all these big pieces, the Naylor brothers. You have the same core. You have the same core players. It might be a trap. I'm going over. I'm going over,
Okay.
but the number being so low is making me a little bit worried.
No, yeah, and that's understandable. I mean, you got to understand that this is a team that's going to be without Bieber till about June, July. I think they said June, July is when he's supposed to be back. He did throw bullpen sessions or has thrown this past month in February. So obviously that's a huge boost to Cleveland. This is a team I think that finished third overall in the league in home games. I think they were 50 and 30 last year at home. So home cooking was definitely a major role because when they went on the road, they were 42 and 39. They were an average team on the road. That's what, they finished 92 and 69. But, you take a look at what they did in the playoffs, and it was just like, it just wasn't, it's just not enough to get you over the top. I mean, you got Jose Ramirez at the corner, the hot corner, one of the best to ever do it at the position. You got Stephen Kwan, Kyle Manzardo, Jay Ram, Carlos Santana goes back to first, Lane Thomas in center, Brennan in right, Bo Naylor at catcher, Arias at second, and Rocio at short.
Oh, did they get? I forget. Luis Arias? Or is it a different one?
No,
Am I stupid?
that's Gabriel.
Oh,
He's
okay.
one of their
Yeah.
prospects, I think, or no, they
Okay.
traded
I
for
was
him. Something
think.
like that.
Yeah. I was like, that doesn't sound right. I feel like I remember that.
No, yeah, no, it wasn't him. But second base is one to keep an eye on because they may call up their number 10 prospect, Juan Brito. He's like one of the best second basemen in the minors. I would hope that you guys take a look at the minor league pipeline on MLB.com. It's a fantastic tool to take a look at all the up and coming guys, who's doing good, who's not, all the way down to single A and below, where they do that weird spring league thing. But they do a really good job of detailed prospects, and one of them, Juan Brito, is one of the ones that they're really hyped about. Um, you know, they're probably going to platoon in right field, because they have Jean Kenzie Noel as well out there, so they'll probably have a platoon in right, depending on um, if it's a lefty or a righty that day. You know how platoons go in baseball. But right now the rotation is Tanner Bibby, Luis Ortiz, Gavin Williams, Ben Lively, and Tristan McKenzie. Again, this is going to depend on a lot on their pitching. We know that their lineup can hit. We know their lineup has speed. We know they can score runs. We know their pitching was pretty good. They scored 708 runs last year. It puts them above the middle of the pack. They only gave up 621 runs, which puts them at the top of the pack. I think only below Seattle, who had a better ERA runs against. But Cleveland is a team. You said it's at 82.
Yeah, that's why I'm worried. And we haven't even talked about the bullpen, where again, same core from last year, where
Right.
basically if the Giants were winning after 6 innings, the game was over, no questions asked.
Right. I mean, they still have Kate Smith and this guy called Emmanuel Clase. So I mean, it's not like
Yeah,
they just up and lost their bullpen. So this is a team I think 82 is a slap in the face if I'm an Indian. I mean, sorry, a Guardians fan. Sorry. My
the
bad.
Cleveland
Don't
Indians,
cancel me, please. But I
and we're
think that
banned.
this and we're done. I think that this is a Cleveland team. I think that's going to go win at least 85, 86 games at a minimum. So I'm taking the over.
Yeah, yeah. I don't understand why the number's that low. Again, like that's just what scares me. Like
What's
it
up,
feels like a
Hannah?
trap. Like, oh yeah, this is free money,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's
it's
not.
definitely Bobby Witt. Bobby Witt's a whole different monster. We'll get to him in a minute.
Yeah. Actually, let's go get to them now. Let's go to the Kansas City Royals. They're
All
over
right.
under totals around 82.5 to 83.5. I'll let you begin, Doc.
Sure. This is a team that last year was 86 and 76, was the sweethearts of playoff baseball. Everybody wanted to root for them. You know, you had the young guys mixed with, the father time of Salvador Perez, who has always
And
been my fantasy,
Granky.
and Grinky. Perez has been my fantasy baseball catcher for I think 30 years now. Um, I think that this is a team that is going to look pretty scary moving forward. You have hold on, I just lost it. You got Jonathan India, Bobby Witt, my cousin Vinny, Salvi, MJ Melendez, Hunter Renfro, Michael Massey, Michael Garcia, Kyle Isbell. Um, India will be lead off, which takes a lot of pressure off Bobby Witt, lets him just play. And we saw how he was last year. I think then you take a look at this team. They got um, Cole Reagan, Seth Lugo, Michael Waka, Michael Lorenzen, and Chris Bubik. I think the pitching is going to be okay. I think as long as the pitching's okay, the back end of this bullpen is a little questionable at times, but they got Lucas Urseg and Carlos Estevez. I think they're going to be pretty solid. It just depends on the starting rotation. Obviously, you got stars and Bobby Witt out there. Salvi does his thing. This is a very good young Royals team. And what's the line?
We got 82.5 to 83.5. So just about a game above Cleveland.
Yeah, I'll take them to hit the over. They're gonna win. They're gonna win probably about the same. I think about 86, 87 games. But it's gonna require them to do a lot of hitting. I think the pitching here is gonna have a lot to do here. The offense was sensational. 735 runs scored. That puts them towards the top of the league. Pitching wasn't too bad, but they gave up 644 runs. But I just think it's going to be tough with them playing everybody now. Like last year, we saw them have spurts when they played bad teams. They played well, but I just think that this is a team that's gonna have to fight against Cleveland and Detroit, and we can't even forget about Minnesota. So
Yeah.
this is going to be another. I think this is going to be another competitive American League division.
Yeah.
What's up,
The,
Jeremy? Welcome
the,
in. Go ahead.
the main concern I have with the Royals is that, last year they signed a bunch of veterans, which most of them you named. And it felt like most of them were playing way over their head. Like all these depth signings suddenly became key contributors to the team. The youth did take a big step, but that's great to see, like from Witt and Vinny Pascatino. So that's great to see. That definitely raises the floor. But I just don't know how guys like guys like Waka can keep up, if they
Right.
could keep up.
I mean, we
And
obviously have
him and
firsthand knowledge
Lorenzen,
with him. So
yeah, yeah, he was very hit and miss here. Yeah, just from personal experience, when Walker's on, he could you could throw like a 26 out no hitter.
Right.
Yeah, if not, he's giving up 6 runs in 2 innings. But
Well, I mean, if you take a look at him last year, towards the end of the season, he was masterful for pretty much all of his starts, except for what game was it? The Cleveland game where they lost 7-5. He gave up 5 runs. In the postseason he did end up with a kind of a 5.19 ERA, but that's because 4 innings and 4.2. But his ERA was roughly what, 3.5 last year for them.
yeah,
Because
and that's with the bad start.
right, and I think that was it was kind of, you kind of saw at the end in that Washington game they did win 7-4, but he gave up 4 runs on 5 hits in 5 innings. You could kind of see he was getting tired a little bit, and then he got exposed in the Yankee series, so that didn't help.
Yeah, I mean 82 and a half, 83 and a half. I do think that's a good number. That's around where they'll hover. They'll be just above or just below that. I guess when in doubt, like they do have an MVP candidate, Bobby Witt. So for that, I'll go just over 82 and a half with you.
All right, well, I appreciate that. Welcome to the Overside. We have cookies.
Yep. We have cookies. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how confident I feel about this team.
Right, like I said, you saw a lot of pitching and a lot of hitting that played up. Can they keep that? Can they keep that going into next season, especially with how well he pitched? Can he contain that? Can he continue that? There's a lot of questions on that team. I just feel like Witt is going to be the driving factor of that team.
Yeah. Yeah. Next up, we do have the Minnesota Twins. Their lines are just a game above the Royals, about 83 and a half to 84 and a half mixed in. Now, this is a team that's usually known for choking. It's like the Falcons of, or more like the Chargers of baseball, where they, again, like sometimes they have these great seasons, and you think they finally turn the corner. Like they struggle in the playoffs, but they turn the corner. They just need to add a little bit more, and then they forget how to baseball, fall off the cliff.
Well, you
And
got to
they have
remember. You got to remember who was hurt on and off for like the last 7 years. It feels like
Byron Buxton has struggled,
Carlos
to stay on. Like
Correa, Royce Lewis.
yeah, they did have injury issues last year, but again, like they haven't done much to address that. Like they're still going in. They're going in with the exact same mindset that they've had the last few years. Like, let's hope the core is healthy this year, then we'll be fine. Like, Harrison Bader is not that much of an addition at this stage of his career. They haven't really added much. They're just hoping that a core that has injury issues doesn't have injury issues for once.
Right.
The pitching is still solid. They got Pablo Lopez, Joan Duran for the pen. Like they've got options back there, but
you're forgetting a young name.
I forget.
Griffin Jax.
Griffin Jax, yep.
So you ask me. I have a friend who's a Twins fan, and the reason why I said about the health stuff is because he literally said for Christmas, all I want is a healthy Twins team, because Carlos Correa hasn't played a full season, Byron Buxton hasn't played a full season, Royce Lewis hasn't played a full season. He said I would take 2 of those if I could, let alone 3. I feel like you look at this team and their depth is just it's insane for them to be a medium, but it's there, but they're better than the middle of the road. Like they've so underperformed that it's almost as if it's on the manager at this point. Like it's laughable, bro. Like you have Walner, Correa, Buxton, Larnach, Lewis, Miranda, Brooks Lee, Ty France, and Ryan Jeffers. And then you got, like you said, Pablo Lopez, who's been on. He was good, and then he was bad. Bailey Ober, Joe Ryan, Chris Paddock, Simons Woods, Richardson. Their pitching is better than their lineup, obviously, but you can't ever cut anybody out when they have Carlos Correa and Byron Buxton at 2 and 3. They also have this guy named Griffin Jax. Okay,
yeah,
he's one of their top young prospects. He's coming up. And if you're looking for fantasy baseball advice for a closer, Griffin Jax is a dark horse to take over for Johan Duran because his fastball was ineffective last year. You and I both saw it. I saw it firsthand when they came to Pittsburgh. His fastball was terrible. He looked terrible. But this is crazy. But Corey Lewis, you know who I'm talking about, their top prospect?
Yeah.
He looks really good to possibly do a Paul Skeens and come up in May and tear the league up by storm. So
keyword is May because we can't have guys come up too early and trigger
right.
the
You can't
what's
burn.
it called again?
Don't burn their eligibility, okay? We can't do that.
Yeah.
Can't burn their eligibility.
Exactly.
But this is a team that has so much good young talent waiting in the wings that this is somebody you might see them become younger as the season goes on, and they might make a lot of moves to kind of clear this space up for them because they have one of the best minor league pools in all of baseball. And a lot of these kids are at the double and triple A level where they're almost ready to go. So for me, you said it's at what? 82. They're at what?
83.5 to 84.5, which it'll be around there. Like I don't think this team will make the playoffs.
I got the under on them this year. I'm not sold on them fully, but if they do miss the under, I'm going under.
Yeah, you're going under 84.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna have them go 83 and 79.
Ooh. That's around the spot they'll be.
I just think that they need these young guys to come up.
Yeah, like you said, with how injured they are, they probably will come up sooner than later.
It's gonna be an interesting division. Just saying, especially with who we're talking about next.
Yep. I think 83.5 to 84.5. They'll be around 500.
Right. And that's why I said 83 and 79 is just close enough that you're there, but you're not quite there.
I think I'll go with you again. I think I'll go under. There's just they need more than what they currently have. They gotta find a way to gel, whether they're healthy or not. And up next, we have the Detroit Tigers, Chairman's Detroit Tigers, who are across the board 83.5 for the over-under.
I'm going to go out on the limb here. Do you mind if I take the lead on this one?
Yep, go for it.
I think that this is a team that's going to surprise a lot of people. I think that you take a look at Tariq Skubal, okay? This guy is going to be either the reason why they win or they lose most of their games this year. I'm just telling you right now, chat. Mm-hmm. He had 18 wins last year. Detroit needed every single one of those to do what they needed to do last year. So this is why I say it hinges on this man right here. The AL Cy Young winner is going to have to win at least 15 to 20 games for Detroit to make the playoffs, in my opinion. I just feel like because they lost out on the Bregman sweepcase.
Sweepstakes.
Sweepstakes. There you go. You got it. Thank you. A sweepcase. Yeah. See, yeah. Chase. Whatever.
Sweepcase. Yeah. Me when you pull a broom out of my briefcase.
Yes.
The Cardinals when we play the Pirates in St. Louis this year.
Oh God, what? I don't even want to talk about it. Please don't Debbie Downer me. It's only 9:45. We still got time. Okay. God, wreck. But this is a team that has Parker Meadows, Gleyber Torres, Riley Green, Kerry Carpenter, Colt Keith, Jace Young, Wenzel Perez, Javier Baez, who, oh my God, is he falling off a cliff?
Javi sucks so much.
Jake Rogers with Tariq Skubal, Jack Flaherty, Reese Olson, Jackson Jobe, who's another young talent. That kid is going to be good. And then Casey Mize. This is a team that I think could, as long as they can stay healthy. I know that Verling is out with a rotator cuff issue, and then I think Parker Meadows is also having a nerve issue with his arm. That this is a team that's going to need to stay healthy and is going to need the pitching to help the offense, because I think the offense is going to be good but not great, and that's bad news when you're in a division with Minnesota, when you're in with
KC,
Kansas City,
Cleveland.
Cleveland. You're going to need to stay healthy. But I think Kerry Carpenter, I think he's going to do better than people think, and he's like getting drafted 238 in fantasy baseball. I think he's a guy that's going to help out Detroit enough that they're going to push, and I have them hitting the over, especially if Scooble and Job are good. They're going to be very good.
Yeah. Well, the big thing for the Tigers is that they've been having trouble with developing their prospects. Like they get to the majors and then stagnate. Last year was a glimmer of hope that finally they could get through that.
Right.
With McKinstry, with Spencer Torkelson, former top prospect. Also, talking about Kerry Carpenter. Side note: I can't think about him without thinking about that one clip of someone's asking for him for a signed bat just to make their sister jealous. I don't know if you've seen that clip or not.
I have. It was so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, he's like, good enough for me. Sure.
Good enough.
Yep,
By the
fair
way,
enough, I'll do it.
I had a fun fact for you that I missed out when I forgot we were talking about the Twins.
What's that?
Did you know that Ellie De La Cruz had more stolen bases than the entire Twins roster last year?
Jesus Christ. Yeah, so yeah, that makes me feel better about my under pick for that.
That's why I wanted to
Can't
say that.
run.
I just wanted to make sure they can't run, right?
Yeah. Which Tigers, like if they like their young core finally started to come up and produce, if they can take that next step forward, again, they can make it back to the playoffs, and where Scuba would only have to win like 10-15 as opposed to 15-20 and just dominate every single game he plays in.
That's what they're going to need.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you talk about Scooble. For me, it's about the young core. If the young core stagnates again, they're going nowhere and they're going to have a losing record. If they can finally take that next step forward, improve, or at least get close to their ceiling, they're going back to the playoffs, whether it's division, title, wild card, who knows, who cares.
Right. And I mean, again, this is another one of those divisions where hopefully the winner doesn't end up being the only one that's not below 500.
Yeah.
Remember that when the Twins won it and they were like 5 games over 500 and everybody else was under, and we're like, what are we doing in our lives?
Yeah. Also, they need to hurry up and get rid of Hobby Bias. Like their AAA shortstop could probably play better than him.
He'll probably end up with the Pirates by the end of the season. Don't worry.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
He bats 200. Can't do anything. All right, let's go. Come on over.
Yeah. So for this, I mean, different logic, but same outcome. We're agreeing a lot today, but I'm going over 83.5 for the Tigers.
I said over, didn't I?
Yeah, like I said, we're doing this. Yeah, like I said, we're doing the same thing, but different reasons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And here's the one that your chat wanted to talk about. The Chicago White Sox. The choke of baseball. For those of you that don't know, this team broke the all-time loss record last year with 122 losses. They fired their manager about like 4 months into the season. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And as I mentioned to Doc earlier, one of their free agent signs was so bad that he's trying to change to pitcher.
Yeah. Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. And the problem is, like, again, you look at the roster, like they didn't really add anybody. Like the talent on this team might be it might be better just based on the fact that that's the White Sox and it's nearly impossible to be worse. Which this lineup is still so bad. Like they got Jared Schuster in the trade, but like, what's he gonna do? Oh, I should probably say the totals. The Chicago White Sox expectedly have the worst expected totals in baseball. Their over-unders around 53.5 to 54.5.
How many did they win last year?
41. They were 41 and 121.
Well, here's a fun fact, chat, before we get into this. If the White Sox win 10 more games this year, they'll still finish with more losses than all but 9 teams in history. That's how bad they were en route to a record-setting 121 losses last year. A team that makes the theoretical double-digit gain in wins would still be among the worst in the history of the game. Let that sink in. Oh my. I'm
Yeah,
taking the under. I don't think
you're
there's
taking.
enough. I don't think there's enough. I don't think there's enough out there. I think they're going to finish with 50, maybe 51 wins if they're lucky. Grant Taylor is like their only hope. Mike Clevenger is waiting to get traded so he can go to greener pastures. Same with same as Robert Jr. I think he's going to be trade fodder for them, um, especially if they're terrible again. I mean, why not go out and get a guy that would actually be good somewhere and get some more prospects as if you don't have enough already. But I think that this is a team that's going to be like 50 and 112.
Yeah.
Just I mean, let me just tell you their lineup, and you tell me if this strikes fear in you. Chase Mydroth, Josh Rojas, Louis Robert. I call him Louis Robert. That's my way of saying.
Luis Roberts. Yeah.
Yeah, I call him Louis Robert. Andrew Vaughn, Miguel Vargas, Mike Tauchman, Lennon Sosa, Corey Lee, and Michael A. Taylor, with Jonathan Cannon, Davis Martin, Martin Perez, Sean Burke, and Shane Smith. Drew Thorpe will get thrown in there at some point. But name anybody on that team besides Robert that strikes any fear in their name in their name whatsoever.
The only one I think of is Andrew Vaughn, who I think he's got a lot of talent there. But of course, it's hard to use that talent on the White Sox. Looking at the staff, they hired Will Venable as a manager, first time manager, former player. And great, they got Grady Sizemore as a.
Oh, and they have Andrew
offensive.
Benintendi too, but not like he's gonna set the world on fire or anything. He's hurt.
I'm gonna take the over on the basis
Wow.
that's almost physically impossible for them to be as bad as they were last
You
time.
said they won 41 last year. I'm giving them an extra 9 wins. That's 3 series.
Yeah. Yeah, but even then, like, I don't think it's that hard. Of course, with Will Venable as the manager, of course, new manager, you never know how they're going to do. They could, they could take the world by storm, completely make everyone better.
God, imagine if they won 82 games.
Or they could just ruin everything.
Hey, they could get worse too. You didn't mention that.
It's almost physically impossible.
I don't know. That team last year. I don't know.
Now, the funny thing here is because of anti-taking rules, the White Sox can't pick higher than 10th in the draft.
Right. That's the funniest thing. So it's like, that's why I'm saying go out and trade Robert and get everybody you can to get picks 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Since you can't,
you can't trade draft. You can't trade draft picks in MLB unless
no. I know.
You can trade
I'm
comp
saying,
picks, but that's it.
Well, I know, but I'm just joking, just for the simple fact of that they're that bad that they need everybody's draft picks. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna say new coaching staff comes in, gives everyone like a nice, like fresh breath, nice sigh of relief. Can relax a little more. Can play up to their potential a little bit more.
What's their total?
53 and 54.5.
See, that's what I thought. I knew you were taking me over just by a little bit. I knew it.
I'm just saying that's their total. Like, yeah, it's not gonna. I'm not saying they're gonna be good.
Right, by any means.
I'm not saying they're gonna be a good team.
He's just taking the over so he can be proud of himself by taking the worst over in history.
That's not what I'm doing.
This is the worst over in history, and you know it. The fact that we're literally talking about a team to have more than 52 freaking wins in a 162 game season is insane. It's insane, right? Insane. Oh, he's like, I thought you were gonna go big and be like, oh yeah, they're gonna win 59 or 60 games, and he's like, yeah, 52, 53. I'm like, what the heck?
Like I said, like I never said they're gonna be good. They're not gonna be good. I'm not stupid.
Bro's like a fresh breath of air. New manager. Yeah, you're gonna win 12 more games. Yeah, congratulations. You still suck.
Hey, progress is progress.
I guess so. Especially when you take the over by 3 games. Congratulations. Hey guys, Rex said you're gonna win 53 games this year. Let's go.
Oh, jeez. So enough talking about that trash fire of a team. Let's go to the AL West. Let's start here with the Houston Astros, who won the worst division last year. Their current total is at 86.5 to 87.5. Let you start it off.
Yeah, I got that. You take a look at them, and I think that this is going to be a new look, kind of, because they got rid of Bregman. But Altuve, Paredes, Alvarez, Walker, Diaz, Pena, McCormick, Dubon, Myers. But I'm telling you right now, that's solid. Defensively, at a minimum, that's a very solid lineup. Defensively, offensively, you always have Alvarez and Walker. Altuve is going to hit for average. Diaz will give you a little bit of pop. Pena will get you on base. But you asked me, you got Framber, Valdez, and Hunter Brown. I'm pretty sure that that's probably one of the best 1-2 combos in all baseball, if you ask me. Mm-hmm. Not to mention the Ronel Blanco, Spencer Arrighetti, who sounds like he wants to go eat spaghetti. And then you got Hayden Wesnenski. But they're the depth. If any of those guys get hurt, though, the depth is going to hurt. Blanco and Arrighetti pitched very well. They pitched a lot of innings. They ate a lot of innings for the bullpen, kept them fresh. That's going to be the biggest problem for this Houston team, not the departure, not them having Paredes, fill in. It's going to be, can the back end of the starting rotation keep the relievers off the field as long as possible? Because if these guys can't pitch in the 5th and 6th inning like they did last year with their innings and ate up a lot of quality, had a lot of quality starts, they're going to be in trouble because that bullpen is going to get gassed. And, if you ask me, I just think with their depth, you take a look at, they have Brian Abreu and Josh Hader. Hader has been so up and down. I think Taylor Scott, Brian King, Miguel Castro, Ort's out. I know he's hurt, but Abreu and Hader are going to have to carry that back end of that bullpen at least till like Taylor Scott can really show that he's the guy last year. This year, in the spring training, his ERA is 9 with almost a 2 walk hit innings pitch. So that's why I'm saying that this is a guy that's going to hinge on. He's 32. He's not getting any younger. If I take a look at his pitching from last year, he was pretty solid. I mean, his ERA was good, but as we got to the back end of the season, especially into September, because I think he got hurt, didn't he, at the end of September? Because I don't think he pitched anymore after the 16th. But he was giving up runs. He gave up 9 runs in 2 months, which isn't that bad. But when you're pitching only a half of an inning, not even getting a full inning of work, you're getting 2/3, and you're giving up a run, and your ERA goes from 1.1 to 3. He finished the season with a 2.23, but he's gotta be consistent for them. He's got to be a solid 6'7" guy, and set up for Abreu and Hader, or they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. What you got for over under 86 to 80, 86 and a half to 87 and a half?
I think this is going to be tough because I think it's going to be them. I think it's got to be them for their division. So I'm going to take that over and take them to win 88 to 90 games. They're going to have to, because I mean the Rangers are the only other team that I think is, besides the Mariners, they'll be close, but the Mariners don't have the offense. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to have to be. I think it's going to be over. I think the ALS winner will be 90 games. So give me the Astros for at least 88.
Yeah. The big thing here is like they are still in the mix to trade for Nolan Arenado, which would give them a big boost offensively and defensively at third
Right.
base.
Absolutely.
But
That would destroy their lineup. Would destroy people.
yeah. Although to me, I think that's their main hope. I'm going under actually.
Okay.
Taking under 87 and a half because this like the core is aging. Like this is not a unit that can like go out and dominate anymore. This is a unit that, well, under the right circumstances, good things could happen. Maybe Fernel Blanco has another great start and doesn't get busted for PEDs. We could be fine, but like they won less than 90 games last year and won the division.
Right.
As long as I know it's a weak division overall, but as long as anyone in the division gets better, the Astros aren't going to do a whole lot. They've lost more pieces than they gained. I think
Yeah.
that at this point, the Astros are in the point where they do need to start selling and building back up their prospect core, building up their pipeline. So there's not a whole lot there now, and there's not a whole lot there on the roster that's like pretty much everyone there is peaked. Yeah, I think a couple of teams will get a little bit better. Granted, I think Astros will still win. Like, I think they still have a winning record, but they would be like just over 500 barely. I think like
Yeah.
about like 83 wins is the right 83, 84 wins is the right spot for them. I'm going under.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with
Next we
that.
have next we have a team that had one of the worst World Series hangovers you've ever seen. The Texas Rangers at about 85 and a half to 86. Big
You
thing
got
here with the Rangers is that like I mentioned, 2 years ago they won the World Series very convincingly. Last year, everybody fell off a cliff. I do think it is a fluke thing because the Rangers are a very good team. They are well constructed. Bruce Bochy proved that he could still manage. Obviously, there still need to be some adjustments here and there. Evan Carter does need to hit that next step,
right.
but there is a lot of promise still with this Texas Rangers team. They like for them like the ceiling is really high, but the floor is really low. They could easily get 95 wins, maybe push to 100. They could also go down to like 75 wins. Overall, it is a hard team to gauge. The youth does need to like step up a bit more. They can't stagnate like a few of them did last year. Like they need a lot. They need more pieces to contribute. They need the veterans to to take it more seriously again. I think 80, 85 and a half, 86 around there. I mean, if the Astros are going to be struggling like I think they will, Rangers should be the team to leapfrog them. So I will go over 85 and a half.
Okay. What's up, Riley? Welcome in. How we doing?
So, hey, Riley.
Yeah. I mean, this is the team, if you ask me, that has the best opportunity to win the AL West besides Houston is Texas. The only reason why I say that is if DeGrom and Rocker, if DeGrom can stay healthy and be DeGrom of old,
It's
and Rocker takes the step and is actually like is actually like good and produces and can do his thing, I think that this is a team that could absolutely challenge for the AL West championship, or I mean the AL West division. You got Semien, Seager, Langford, Garcia, Peterson, Jung, Berger, Heim, and Carter. Um, they're gonna have a lot of speed out there. Um, you traded Lowe for Berger at first base, and then Peterson is the DH. That brought up their pop almost immediately. Then you got DeGrom, Eovaldi, Male, Leiter, and Rocker. Like I said,
And since you mentioned DeGrom's name, he is now out for 4 months. Just because you mentioned his name, no other reason.
Right, no reason. But last year he was 9-6 with a 2.69 ERA, 22 games started. Obviously not a full. He only did 140 innings pitched. If he can stay healthy, that takes Texas a long way, and I think that could be with that pitching rotation has the potential, along with that lineup, to do just enough to win 88, 90 games. Like he said, they could go beyond that. That I think Texas could be a dark horse. Don't be surprised if Texas is back. They have the names, they have the talent, the potential is there, but can they reach it? Especially with some of the young names they have, like he said, with Carter and all that, and Wyatt Langford, and Rocker and Leiter. Like these guys are going to have to light it up and do as well as they did last year, especially DeGrom. If he can carry over that to at least 175, close to 200 innings, I think Texas is in good shape, and that's why I have them like right behind, but I have them hitting their over, but I have them behind Houston. But don't be surprised if they surpass Houston, because they have their potential. Their ceiling is up here versus Houston's ceiling being kind of here. They have more potential than Houston does for sure.
Yeah, higher floor, lower ceiling than Houston.
Right.
Up next, kind of surprised at this win total, but 84.5 to 85.5 for the Seattle Mariners. I'll let you start this one off.
Yeah, so the Mariners are the best team in baseball if you talk about pitching. They're one of the best teams if you talk about pitching. You talk about hitting, don't even include them because they were in the bottom. They're as bad as the Pirates, the Cardinals, the Rockies, all those teams. Like, it was crazy. Like, I've never seen, like, literally like the Steelers in the NFL. Good on one side, terrible on the other. No, I just had to do that for Rick, see if I could get a kick out of him.
You're a Steelers fan too.
I know. But you're much more passionate when it comes to that stuff. You really like to but this is a Mariners lineup with Victor Robles, Julio Rodriguez, Cal Raleigh, Randy Arozarena, Luke Raleigh, Mitch Garver, Jorge Polanco, Dylan Moore, JP Crawford. This is an offense that has the names: Cal Raleigh, Arozarena, J Rod, like those Crawford. 3 names. Well, Crawford, yeah. But these are names alone where you would think like your offense should be at least middle of the pack. They were not. This is a team that's pitching was 1 or 2 in ERA, runs against, everything. Like they were the group from the starter to the back end. This is a team that if this offense is potent enough and actually hits the ball, then they can compete in the West. Otherwise, it's just going to be another year of them with their pitching just carrying everything.
Exactly.
Luis Castillo, Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, Brian Wu, Emerson Hancock. Great name, by the way. But George Kirby's hurt. He's probably going to be on the IR. Hancock is probably going to end up being the 5. That's why I mentioned him in here. His ERA wasn't great in 12 starts, 4.75. But, I don't think it's enough offense, if you ask me, because the problem is I love Cal Raleigh, but he's not – he's your prototypical catcher. It's all power and nothing else. Strikes out a lot, grounds out a lot, flies out a lot. I love him to death, though. He's great on my fantasy team and great on MLB The Show, but not IRL. Randy Arozarena, obviously, Rec, that he's a huge name that they got. But, again, this is a team that completely underachieved. They have the names – and then the bullpen, Brash is out, Snyder, Santos, Cito, Thornton, and then Munoz. This is a great pitching staff from top to bottom for the most part, but the offense just struck out way too much. They did not hit the ball well. They were very bad. And that's going to be very difficult to keep up with Texas and Houston. So
Yep.
unless they cut back on the strikeouts and their pitching staff continues to carry, I think they're going to be right at their over under. I have them I think at 85 and 77.
And the over under is 84.5 to 85.5.
Yeah, so I'll take right in the middle.
Do you take over 84.5 or under 85.5?
Under 85.5 then.
Okay. But yeah, like, what's left for me to say? Like, Lily, what is there to say? Like, again, they're good. Every game is going to be 3-2, 2-1. The question is, which team has 3?
Right.
Yeah, like there's nothing left to say. Until the Mariners, I know they have a new manager, new hitting coach. Until they actually learn how to hit for the first time in over a decade, I can't trust this team. Yeah, pitching is going to keep them in there. They do have the talent. And like Doc said, they're going to be right at that 84, 85 win mark. They're going to be right around where the total is currently set at. There's nothing left to say.
Do you think that J-Rod does much better this year, though, at least?
He needs to do better. Like, he got paid a lot of money and then forgot how to baseball entirely. Kind of like who's your guy that you got pissed off about? Reynolds or Brian Hayes?
Oh, it's going to be a bunch.
No, yeah, like, there's one specific guy where you had like a coming in hot on Action Lab because he got paid and did nothing.
Oh, Brian.
It was Brian Hayes. Okay.
Yeah, because Brian at least has done a little bit.
Yeah, that's what you figured. Yeah, they're gonna be right. If J Rod steps up, I'll take the over. It's all on J Rod's shoulders to hit the over, though. And I'm not very comfortable with it, but like I said, they'll probably maybe they get like 85, 86.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll watch them hit 85 and we're both right, even though we took opposite sides.
Yeah. I mean, that's to be expected. I mean, especially with the number that they threw out there on purpose. So,
and we're done with talking about good teams in the American League.
We could pretty much just sum these two up. The Athletics and the Angels, they're both going to win roughly 70 games. They're going to be at the bottom of their division. The Athletics moved to West Sacramento for about 4 years.
And remember, this isn't the Oakland A's. This isn't the Sacramento A's.
Nope. They're just the Athletics.
These are just the Athletics. Yes. Baseball's answer to the Washington football team.
Yes. So, they'll be like 73, 89, 72, and 90. And then the Angels will be roughly the same. There's not much there. Mike Trout might finally get healthy, but it's, he's doing all right. But no, these two teams, I just feel for Athletic fans, they didn't kind of deserve the way things went out. They do. I have plenty of A's fans that have hit me up and are not too happy with how everything went down. But I think you and I can both agree that if the Athletics, what their number is,
71.5 to 72.5.
I'm gonna take the over on that, but only barely. I'm gonna have them at 73, and then the Angels are 71.5, and I'm gonna take them to be under.
So you're taking the Angels under?
Yeah.
Angels, yep, 71.5 there.
Just nothing there. Not enough help. Yeah. Not enough.
Yeah, it looks like the Angels at least have a few pieces in the system.
They do.
My boy from Tennessee, Christian Moore.
Right.
Yeah, which recently I stumbled once again on that video of him in Tennessee freaking out because the umpire won't give him time.
Yeah.
You remember that? Time.
I do.
Time. Takes a walk anyways.
Right. It was great. Oh,
Yeah.
it's perfect. It's cinema at its finest. But I mean, like
Yeah.
Taylor Ward, Luis Rengifo, Mike Trout, Jorge Soler, Nolan Schmanuel,
Mike Trout's
Logan O'Hara,
done.
Joe Adele,
Like,
Yohan Moncada, and Kevin Newman. Like there's nothing there that strikes fear in my heart to them winning more than 70 games.
mm-hmm. A's, however, do have people that strike fear in your heart. You have Mason Miller, who's an elite closer.
Shout out to the
You have
Pittsburgh kid. I've seen that kid play here.
Nice. You got Brent Rooker. Like, you got young guys for the A's. Like, pretty much the A's sandbagged to make the team as bad as possible. So whenever they do move to Vegas, they have a good unit. So they do have good play. They have a few good players on the roster. They have more on the way. So for that, I'll go with you with the A's. 71 and over 71 and a half is a good number there.
Yeah, because you got Butler, Rooker, Blade, Langoliers, Soderstrom, Andujar, Geloff, Urshela, and Wilson. Half the Yankees farm system or been in the Yankees organization or over there now. You know, Severino's over there. JP Sears, Osvaldo Beto,
Yeah,
Jeffrey
they gave
Springs,
Severino the highest contract in A's history, right?
something like that.
Yeah, I think that's the most money they've ever given out to a free agent, and it's the second they leave Oakland.
There's the guy that was an 11-11. Was what was he 5-3 last year in 11 games started with the Yankees with a 2.85 ERA. And then last year he was 11-7 with a 3.91. So he's been up and down with the Yankees. You know, when he came into the league, he was good, and then 2023 he was terrible, and then in 2024 he was with the Mets. I forgot about that.
Yep.
He was okay. So I think this is a solid signing for him. So I would expect him to provide them with a couple wins above replacement. But I still see the mid 70s as their plateau for this group. They're good. They're not great, but they're competitive.
Yeah, like they can actually do things. Yeah, Angels, like you said, as we talked about them, Mike Trout is now out 2 months with a back issue, and Anthony Rendon is out for the whole season with a minor finger cut.
Yeah. Those poor guys never catch a
Yeah.
break.
Well, Anthony Rendon kind of deserves it.
Man, Rendon fell off a cliff too. Somebody go find that man's talent.
No, did you hear what he said like a couple years ago? He was like, I don't like playing baseball. I just get paid a shitload of money. And big shocker, he tries to avoid playing baseball as much as he can.
Right.
Yeah. And then Trout, his career is officially wasted. He's got no. Like, the best thing the Angels could do is at the deadline trade him to probably the Dodgers or something, trade him to a contender so he can actually play October baseball for once in his life.
Yeah. You know what's funny?
Yeah.
Is every year we're not in the playoffs as Pirates, but yet we go like 4-0 or 5-0 in October with our games because everybody's resting their starters. It's funny.
Yeah, like the White Sox went 5-1 in their last 6 games.
Yeah, because everybody rested and we're like, eh.
Yeah, they just barely broke the record.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, with the Angels, yeah, I'm gonna go with you again. I'm gonna go under. So before we move on, I'm just gonna go ahead and screenshot what I have for everyone that missed it. Hang on, no, but hang on. Fix it. Computer could cooperate with me. Thank you. I'll just go ahead and throw this in my chat, and then of course it can be seen on your. Actually, can I throw this in on my? Shit, I know how to do this. There we go. 3. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, playback needs to. I guess it's like Twitch where it's hard to embed photos. But at very least, I've got like the link to the photo. So I'll throw it in your chat as well because I know the people in your chat can't put it in mine.
Right.
They can't click on mine. Yeah, that's what I have for there.
Oh, just send it to me in a DM.
Okay. Yeah. I was just putting it in the chat for everyone to see, but
Hold on.
there
You
you
know what?
go.
Here. Hold on.
Kaboom! Send it.
Oh, you already sent it to me. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So for those of you that missed some of our stream for whatever reason, it's these are our American League picks. So with this we've got the division winners as. Actually, yeah, I guess let's do that real quick. Division winners, because not all these are obvious. The division
Right.
winner, I'll go Baltimore, Cleveland, and Texas, with wild cards as the Yankees, the Royals, and the Astros. No, Orioles, Red Sox, and Royals. Astros missed the playoffs entirely.
Dang. All right. Well, I
I'm very
think
low on Houston.
I have the Yankees winning the East. Who did I say? Who did I have? Cleveland. Did I have Cleveland with the high? Who's my highest out of the Central?
The highest win total is Minnesota, but we both took the under with them. The highest
Right.
one that we took was Detroit at 83.5.
Okay.
But then there's Cleveland and KC each at 82.5.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Cleveland,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have to go with Houston because I already talked about them enough. So I have to go with Houston, and then see Texas, the Orioles.
And probably Boston, they're at 86.5.
Yeah, and then Boston with
Yep.
Seattle
That's
just
where
missing it.
that's where we're at there. Let's move on to the National League. Starting with the East. We got between 92 and 93.5 for the Atlanta Braves. What you got?
Yeah, so this is a team that was riddled with injuries, absolutely decimated. Um, Not only their starting rotation, but also the guys out on the field. This year to come out, Jurickson Profar, I think he's going to lead off. And then Ronald Acuna Jr. will be back at some point. He's still 6 weeks out, I think, at a minimum with his knee surgery from last year. So you got Profar, Riley, Olsen, Ozuna, Albies, Harris, Baldwin, Kalenic, Garcia, with Sale, Lopez, Swellenbach, Holmes, Anderson, and then Spencer Strider, I think, will return there. So I think you have to keep a lookout, but this is going to be a bullpen that's going to be good. Their starting rotation is going to be one of the best in baseball and fully healthy. This is a lineup when Acuna comes back, should be one. I think the Braves challenge for the NL this year, as long as they stay healthy. But if they can't, then they're in trouble again. They kind of stuttered down the stretch just based off of how many injuries they had. It just took a toll too much, too late. What do you have? What's the over under?
92 to 93.5.
I think depending on when, it depends on when Acuna and all those guys come back. Because I think Strider is supposed to come in late April. I think 92, I think right at 92. So if it's 92.5, I'm taking the under, but only by a half.
Yep. I mean, you do have it's up to 93.5, so I can give you that.
Yeah, I'll take 92. I think they're gonna win. I think they'll win the East as long as they stay healthy. It's gonna be tough with the Phillies and the Mets sitting Soto, but that's the only two teams you have to worry about competing because Washington and Miami are going to be completely out of it again this year. So it's
Yeah.
really just Philly, Atlanta, and New York, the Mets. But what you got?
Yeah. Like I said, like injuries are a key factor. If they still affect this year, then it's gonna be a while because you know that if the season's going, they're probably not gonna let these guys take their time. They're probably going to like maybe not rush them completely, but they're trying to get them back as soon as possible. even if it compromises their health a little bit for both Acuna and Strider.
Yeah.
Chris Sale, at very least, did have a career renaissance last year. He was electric.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna change my over. I'm gonna change my under and have them at 89.
Oh, you're saying the Braves have. Sorry, you think they have 89 wins now?
Yeah, I'm gonna drop that a
Yeah,
little bit. It's not a lot, but yeah,
yeah,
92 to
yeah. But
89.
yeah. You do have under 93.5, so that works.
Yeah, I just was looking at they didn't really do anything else. So, and then too many, the Mets and Phillies both went out and did stuff. So I just realized
Yep.
that. So I'm gonna drop that.
Yeah. Again, they do still have a lot of talent.
Right.
Who's my
Don't
baseball
get me
team?
wrong.
SDG. I am a St. Louis Cardinals fan. That is the team closest to me. And I'll get into my cards a little bit later. But I know the thing that you're more interested in hearing with me and my teams. But yeah, with the Braves, yeah. Mel, you guys know so much. Thanks, Mel.
Appreciate it, Millie. It's all up
Yeah,
here somehow.
so, like you said, like the injuries are a problem if they affect them early. Yeah.
Right, like I
And
said,
you did
Strider comes
mention,
back. You got to
yeah,
worry about Strider. Is he going to come back in form? Is Acuna, even if he comes back, it still takes weeks for you to get back. That knee's never going to be the same. Can the lineups can they surpass that? Can they get over the injuries? You're going to be able to go up against the Phillies or the Mets in a 3 to 5 game series. I just don't think the health is there. Like I still think that there's going to be times for them that they need to mesh with and come back from injuries. I think they're going to be very competitive, and I think they're going to be near the top. But I just think at 89 is
yeah,
kind of. I still think 89 is good enough. It could be enough to win the East. You don't even know.
it could
So
be. Yeah, I mean, if 89 is good enough to win the East, and the Braves will probably hit the over if everyone drops off a cliff.
right, but you still got to remember everybody else got better.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the thing.
Although another thing to know is that the Mets are the Mets until further notice.
True, but the Mets didn't have Juan Soto until earlier.
Yes.
So
Yep. I was gonna say Braves, they're like the 49ers. Like it's like every other year, everyone gets hurt. When they're healthy, they're they're a World Series contender. When they're not, well, they won World Series when they weren't healthy. So who am I to judge? This is a rough total. I've been going back and forth. You almost convinced me, but not at 92. I'll take the over.
you're gonna take the over, okay?
I'll take the over because I think that they still have the talent to make it work. And if they don't rush, if they end up not rushing, Strider and Acuna, they'll be great down the stretch. Like they might lose a few more games early because of that, but they'll win a whole lot more after the trade deadline.
Right.
Yeah, when it gets there. So
But
I
that's why
say like they'll
their
yeah, I think
talent
they'll get about
definitely.
yeah, I think they'll get about 95 wins.
I mean, they very well could. Like I said, the only reason I'm saying 89 is just because early. I think they're going to lose a lot of games that they should win, but because Strider is not fully back, because Acuna is not fully back, I think they're still going to have a little bit of a hangover from how last season ended. They
Mm-hmm.
very well could win the East, though. This is a team that was
Yeah.
very good before all the injuries, folks. Let's not forget what they did before everybody got hurt. Okay.
Yeah.
This is very easily could be a 95 win team. I'm just saying that they lose those couple early until the injuries are healed up fully and these guys are fully back to 100% because that takes some time, especially coming back from the tear that Acuna had and then Strider being shut down for so long. You know, that's why I'm just saying it's a couple game difference, and that's the difference between my 89 and his 95.
Yeah. Next up, we got the Philadelphia Phillies at 90.5 to 91.5. This is a team like they've struggled with health issues as well. Like Bryce Harper was forced to move to first base to make it work. Their main saving grace is that they have the DH in the NHL, which means Kyle Schwarber doesn't have to ruin everything.
Yeah.
Worst, like worst defensive player in the league, even worse than Rafael Devers. I don't care what the stats say.
Yeah, you know what? Stats don't lie. Stats are lie.
Yeah. Hey, as Cam Haywood said, "Fuck them analytics." He said that on
Oh,
live
Cam.
TV, just so you know.
That's that.
Anyways,
I know that was funny.
yeah. But anyways, the offensive talent is there. Harper, Schwarber, Castellanos. Cue tragedy here whenever he hits a home run. But yeah, like they've got pieces to hit. I mean,
Oh
that
yeah,
core is aging. Offensive core is aging, but again, like if they can't carry it, you still have Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola. The bullpen is still iffy, but again, like Dave Dombrowski is the GM, so you know they're not like if something's wrong, if something's struggling in the beginning of the season, he's going to sell every prospect he has to fix it, no questions asked.
right.
Yeah.
I
So with that, I think I'll
I
go
was
over
gonna say
90 and a
what you got.
half.
You're going over 90 and a half.
Yeah, I do like this team, and again, if there's a problem, Dombrowski is going to trade everything he has to fix it.
Okay.
It's a great core, a couple of little holes here and there. I don't think they go much further than 90, but they definitely have the ability to go over 90.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look. You take a look at Turner, Harper, Bohm, Schwarber, Castellanos, Kepler, Remuto, Stott, Marsh, and you got
It's a
Wheeler,
great
Luzardo.
lineup.
Exactly, top to bottom. It all depends on what they want to do at leadoff, because Schwarber I know was leadoff, but Trey Turner I think he wants to put there. He's put both up there because he's
He
still trying
probably
to figure
deserves
it
it
out.
more.
He's trying to figure it out. Either way, it's a stack lineup. Then you got Wheeler, Luzardo, Nola, Sanchez, and Suarez. Wheeler starting opening day. Um, then you got the lefties, Luzardo and Sanchez. You got three lefties, actually, Suarez as well. But this is a team that's stacked top to bottom, bullpen, pitching, rotation, lineup. This is a team that is my prediction to win the East. But again, Atlanta can happen. The Mets could make a surprise. But this is the team that I have I think hits. Then I think they hit about 92, 93 wins. So what's the over? 90? 91?
Yeah, 90 and a half to 91 and a
Yeah, I'm
half.
going to take the over on 90 and a half or
Mm-hmm.
91, either one, whichever one. But I think this is a
90 and a
team
half.
that is going to be, but if it's not them, whoever wins the East is going to be the one that pushes the Dodgers to the brink to go to the World Series. They're going to be their biggest challenge. It's not going to be anybody from the Central. It's going to be whoever wins this division is going to push the Dodgers to the brink, because anybody in this division that's named Philadelphia or Atlanta, you have the best opportunity to shut down Otani and company over there in La La Land.
Mm-hmm. And with that, up next, we have the New York Mets. I'll let you start this off.
Sure. So you take a look at the this Mets team: Lindor, Soto, Alonso, Nimmo, sorry, Vientos,
Can you
Finding
find
Nemo.
him?
No, I can't. Vientos, Winker, Taylor, Batty, and Torrens.
Beatty.
I call him Batty because I saw him when he played for the Bats, so that's why it's funny. But this is a lineup. The top of that lineup is stacked, absolutely stacked. Lindor, Soto, Alonso, and Nimmo. I think that you can't question that. Then the rotation is Senga, Holmes, Peterson, Canning, and McGill. Manea is still recovering. Montes is still recovering. I think one of those two or both of them will fill in in the back end. But Senga and Holmes are going to have to really are really going to have to step up. You take a look at this team last year. That was an 89 and 73, tied with the Braves for second in the East. A team that surprised a lot of people with 768 runs scored. Do I think they do that again this year? I think they absolutely could with the lineup that they have, especially adding Soto. Yeah, adding Soto. The bigger question is the pitching going to help? Because they gave up just about 700 runs, so they're at the middle of the pack or below. I think that's going to be their biggest question mark. If they can go out and find something that solidifies the back end of that rotation into their bullpen, I think they have an opportunity. They may even go out and get another starter, but I just don't think they have enough defensively and pitching to match up with Philadelphia or Atlanta. And for them, I have them being right where they were at last year, but I have them at 90 and 72. I have the NL East. I have the NL East being very spicy at the top.
Yeah. So yeah, it's 90. The odds are 90 to 90 and a half. So you're taking the under?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But barely.
I'm right with you, like because I mentioned earlier, just like the Jets, the Mets are the Mets until further notice. I know they got Soto. It'll be interesting to see like what Clay Holmes does as a pitcher. He was the closer many years for the Yankees. They've got all these pieces, but once again, like what can go wrong will go wrong. Like every time you think
it's the Mets go. Where's Chris? Yeah. We need to call Chris. Get him on here. She'll tell you the same thing.
Yeah, as a Mets, as like a secondary Mets fan from Chris, he knows the. Like again, like the Mets have a good roster. Again, Juan Soto was great. Again, you gotta remember, like he does like he's still not the perfect player. Like he got traded to San Diego from Washington, and he wasn't the Juan Soto people were expecting. So it's not insane to think that Juan Soto has a bit of a drop off from his revival season with the Yankees.
Right.
Like he's still great. Again, you do have the Phillies and Braves as we've mentioned a lot already.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That their roster, especially their lineup, is so top heavy that the bottom of that lineup is going to have so much pressure to perform that I don't think it's going to be able to carry over.
Yeah, like they'll probably get like 87, 88 wins. They'll be just under 90. Like they might be a wildcard team. Like, they'll be fine for that 6th seed.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. So like, unless they go out and get themselves something that helps the bottom of that lineup, gets them like a nice little contact guy to get on base, or even just a pitcher of any magnitude, I think that would bump them up because the bottom of their lineup relies too much on analytics more than it does like statistical things like you do at the top of that lineup. Mm-hmm. You know what you're getting from 1 through 4 automatically. You know what you're getting out of that lineup. But once you get down Vientos, Winker, Taylor, Brett Beatty, and then Luis Torrens, like those are a little bit of some question marks. But if Francisco Alvarez gets called up, that's a power catching position. He's still good defensively. He brings enough to the game. I think that if he can come up and be like the rookie of the year or play to his potential, hit 15, 20 home runs, 50 to 60 RBIs, they could steal a couple games, but other than that, I just think that there's just not enough to this team to get them over the hump of what they need to do to be productive and to be successful in a productive and very dangerous NL East at the top.
Yeah. Yeah, now that we've talked about the good teams in the division, let's go to the Washington Nationals. They're over under totals 71.5 to 72.5.
I think we could save everybody time with these two and just say that they're gonna both be at 70 wins and just move on for everybody's mental health because the Marlins were 63 and 99, and they were 71 and 99 or something like that, 98, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, Nationals, yes. So you have them at under 72.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
They're young, but they're young. They're going to be good, just not this year.
Yeah. And even then, like every time you think something good happens, someone takes a step back. Like C.J. Abrams was an all-star shortstop last year,
Right.
but I think he got into some like a little bit of trouble with the team. I forgot exactly what happened. Like he got in some sort of trouble, and he's starting this year in AAA. He's either going to be on the main roster.
Right.
Their all-star shortstop is going to be in the minors to start the season. Like
Yeah.
again, like they have the young talent. They have the young talent to get over 72.5 wins. If they have the talent, it's just not there. And
Right.
it's like something's missing. Like they could easily step up and have a
Well,
75, maybe an 80 win season.
right. Well, you got to understand Dylan Cruz, James Wood, Nate Lowe, Josh Bell, Luis Garcia, Keibert
Yeah.
Ruiz, Paul DeJong, Jacob Young, Dylan Cruz, James Wood, and Keibert
Oh
Ruiz
no.
are all young guys. They just have to um, get their reps. And like I said, this is a team that's going to be dangerous in a couple years. You're going to hear the Nationals being at the top of the NL East with these guys, but it's just not yet. They're just too young. You know, Mackenzie Gore, Jake Irvin, Mike Soroka, Mitchell Parker, Trevor Williams, just not enough. It's they have good depth. The talent is good, but the NL East is too good for them right now. The
Yeah.
talent, the rest of the talent in the division is too good for them to be competitive fully right now.
Let's see.
Um,
Last year.
but the Nationals have depth, and they're going to be good. Just mark my words. Just not right now, not this year. You're going to see sparks of it. You're going to see flashes of it where the Nationals sweep somebody that they shouldn't or beat somebody that they shouldn't, but they're not going to string it together enough to get them where they need to go in the NL East. It just can't
Yeah.
happen. Not right
So
now.
check. They were 71-91 last year, like you
Right.
said.
Right.
So basically, this over under total is like saying like they get 1 or 2 more wins than last year.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
there's nothing that says that they can't, especially with the talent they have. They're going to finish in the mid 70s, low to mid 70s. I just think the pitching is going to hold them back. That's the main reason why I say that.
yeah, I. It's not gonna be much over, but I'm taking the over. I think a couple people do step up. You know, like you said, they're not gonna be great. They're not gonna be great. Like, there's still a lot of work for them to do, but 70. They were at 71 wins last year. As long as a few players develop,
Right.
they can hit 75.
Right. And
Like it's
and
yeah, they probably won't
they
hit
absolutely
80
can.
yet.
No, they
They
won't.
pro- yeah,
I think that they're good. They're just not great. And that's
yeah,
just because again, reps, youth, and just the rest of the division is too tough.
yeah, yeah. You got the under there. I got the over, and then yeah, Marlins are 62.5 to 63.5. You said they probably hit 70, so you got them at the over.
Yeah, I got them at the over. I think there's um you know, you got Xavier Edwards now who leads off. He's 328 with 31 steals in 70 games. Connor Norby, he's good. Jonah Bride's coming up. Jesus Sanchez, Derek Hill, Matt Mervis, Otto Lopez, Kyle Stowers, Nick Fortes. But here's the thing. The pitching, Sandy Alcantara, Ryan Withers, Edward Cabrera, Cal Quantrill, and Max Meyer. I think this is a team that's going to be good, but they're going to be on the level of just below like our teams, where they're going to be
Yeah,
in if they can be somewhere, they'll be in the 70s. They'll be bad, but they're not going to be terrible. They're going to be good, but they're not going to be great. They're kind of in a state of flux where they're trying to figure their stuff out. Um, it's a team that has talent, but it's again not enough to compete in the East. Not enough talent to get you to bump up to that upper 70s number. But I think that they're going to do better than 63 last year.
yeah. And one thing to note: 4 of their 5 stars were hurt for most or all of last season.
Right.
So as long as they're half as healthy as they were last year, pitching should be much better.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm with you. I'll take over 62.5.
All right.
And starting off in the NL Central Air Division. So for the Chicago Cubs
Wait, do you want
at
to do the
80.
West first? Do you want to do the West first and save ours for last?
Sure.
We'll do the West. Let's do the West because that
NL
way we can
West.
talk about our team's rant, and then everybody can go to bed.
Sure. Yeah. Starting off, who else? With a win total of 103.5 to 104.5, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Have fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna talk on this, and I think everything that I'm gonna say, Rex gonna say the same thing. So
Yeah.
I'll save everybody a lot of time. They paid a lot of money, have a lot of talent, gonna win 100 games probably again. Blake Snell, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow, Roki Sasaki, Dustin May. Not anything that's gonna be anywhere other than one of them is gonna win the Cy Young. I think for the NL this year. Or in the conversation, I should say. But you got Otani, Betts, Freeman, Hernandez, Muncy, Smith, Conforto, Edmund, and Pages. They got Otani, Betts, and Freeman. M, V, and P. Say it with me. MVP.
MVP.
Every single one of those has won an MVP. So I'm just saying this is a team that's going to be the favorite in the NL in its entirety, let alone the West. 102 wins would be where they would expect to be. I think if they can stay healthy, you got to remember that Otani didn't pitch at all. Remember with his injury, so we got to remember that. So their rotation that's their rotation, as if they're still easing Otani back into pitching because of the injury to his elbow. So if they decide to go that route, it could change the numbers a little bit. I think if he rests or whatever, but this is a team that I have winning. I have them winning the West. Do I think they win?
Who
What is it?
doesn't?
1.5?
Yeah. 103.5 to 104.5. So when we're done streaming, I might just log on and make like $2 bets for every team.
Yeah, let's do it.
For every over under, just $2, nothing much.
Why not? But I think 102. I think what is it? So I'm gonna take the under, but I'm only taking it because they're gonna win like 100 games and go 162, something like that, but not be. There's no way that I don't think they win 103 this year. That'd be insane. I think the West is too competitive for them to do that because San Francisco is going to be better, San Diego is better, Arizona is going to be better, Colorado will be Colorado. So
Colorado, yeah.
So, but that's why I think it'll be close to 100. I think it'll be 95 to 100 easy for the most. I shouldn't say easy because nothing's easy when you're in professional baseball, but
unless
95 to 100. 95 to 100 is where I think they'll be. I think they'll lose a couple games from here or there from pitching or having their issue last year was they struck out a lot and then they figured stuff out a little bit. So I think 95 to 100 and them winning the West is still going to pretty good if you ask me, being a Pirates fan. So
but Dodgers, they pretty much had their way in every single round of the playoffs. So obviously they have the most talent in the league. They have the most talent. They've proved that they can win in big moments against anybody. Also, just a quick little note. They're 103.5 total. 103.5, 104.5. The next highest total is Atlanta at 92 to 93.5.
Right, like
so
I said,
10 plus games more.
Right, because if you look at the rest of the NL West, they have San Diego at 87.5, and then they have who else do they have? They have Arizona. Yeah, Arizona's at 86.5 to 87.5. So, and the Padres are 85.5. So that's the whole reason why. And I'm just like, crazy.
It's a lot. Also, just know the over for 104.5 is plus 100. So if you think the Dodgers are just going to blow through everybody, no problem, you can get value there.
I mean, it's 104 and 58. So they would win. They would have to win 2 to every one basically to get to that.
Yes.
Which is really hard to do in baseball. But I think if Roki Sasaki is as elite as Otani was coming into his own, I don't think it's a chance for the West. I don't think the NL has a
Yeah.
chance either. Not with the top of that
To
rotation.
me, to me, the Dodgers are definitely winning over 100 games. There's usually one team that does it each year. Last year, it didn't happen, never happened, but usually that's the case. It's one team that goes over 100. I think the Dodgers do it this year.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, it's all what if, and especially in that rotation. If the rotation
Yeah,
is as dominant as the
yeah,
pitching was
104 is a
last year for
lot.
them, and how they're hitting, they could win 110. Not even
Yeah,
joking,
105,
because
100.
Roki could get them probably 10 to 15 wins alone, and we saw what happened with pitching last year with them. So the offense is potent enough, but there's going to be games where their pitching is single handedly going to win them games.
Yeah, 105 is a lot.
110 would be insane.
Yeah,
But it's not out of the realm of possibility. Again,
yeah.
like I said,
I guess
Sasaki is good enough.
one last thing to
I'm telling
one
you.
last thing to note before I make my choice. The Dodgers pitching core last year was wrecked with injuries, and they still won 98.
Yep.
If they're healthy, they hit the over. I'm taking over 103.5.
Okay. I like it.
As long as they're healthy, they won't have to rely on the offense doing every single little thing.
Right.
They hit the they go they get like 105 wins. I know it's a lot. It may be a fool's bet, but I'll take it.
Right.
Up next, we have the Arizona Diamondbacks, who probably had one of the bigger additions by adding Corbin Burns to their rotation. I'm trying to think, did they let Jordan Montgomery go? I forget if they did or not.
Let me see.
'Cause Jordan Montgomery had a little bit of a rough stint with the Diamondbacks last
Yeah,
year.
because it looks like it's Corbin, Gallen, Kelly, Rodriguez, and Fad.
Yeah, yeah, like we mentioned with the Mariners, it's the pitching that's gonna carry this team if they're gonna. Sorry, things just keep popping up on me, but at 80, 86.5 to 87.5, if they hit the over, it's gonna be all because of the pitching.
And Jordan
The
Montgomery is
offense.
still there, by the way.
Oh, wow, okay,
He's just I don't know what they're gonna. They have 7 starters, by the way.
yeah, yeah. Maybe they move Montgomery to the bullpen to get him back going.
Right.
But yeah, the pitching is great. Bullpen needs a little work, but the starting rotation's amazing. Zach Gallen is okay. You got Burns and Gallen 1-2. Yeah, good luck. Good luck to everyone besides LA.
Right.
So the young pieces on the offense, they stagnated a lot last year. Like again, they could easily win 90 plus
Right.
if Corbin Carroll and Ketel Marte and guys like them get their head out of their ass and get back to playing baseball like they know how to. That was the biggest problem for them. They still won 89 games last year, even with all that. Like,
Yeah.
bullpen needs a little bit of work. 87, 86.5 to 87.5. They have the talent to do it, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think you take a look at this Diamondback team last year, and you take a look at them. Corbin Burns, Gallen, Merrill Kelly. I think that you're going to see that this is a team this year that's really going to push to go all in, because it's going to be the last time that a lot of these guys are going to be on this team in the same rotation, same lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Fair enough.
just the way that everything's going, and plus the Dodgers aren't going anywhere, so you got to try something. Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Josh Naylor, Eugenio Suarez, Gabriel Moreno, and then you have like Pavin Smith and Randall Grichuk, I think, are going to split at DH. McCarthy, Perdomo, and don't forget about Alec Thomas. But that is a lineup that has a mix of veteran with the youth. So this is a team that I think if they can get through the problems that they had last year, I think this is a team that could win 90 plus games. The problem is you play in a division with the Dodgers, and it's going to be very tough for you to compete with that, let alone with your their little brother, the San Diego Padres.
Yeah.
That's the problem. You have another division where it's 3 teams top heavy.
Yep.
You
I
know,
lean
I just
D-backs
right.
over.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Diamondbacks
I don't know why I said
over.
D-backs. Yeah.
Well, you say D-backs. It's fine. They say
Yeah,
it.
I'm
They
just saying.
say
I don't
it.
know why I said I lean D-backs. That's who we're talking about, of course.
Right. But I think that I think they're going to take a couple of series against the Dodgers. Will they beat them in the playoffs when it
Playoffs?
matters?
No.
Probably not, unless they go out and get themselves another arm. But the lineup there has enough pop, has enough speed, has enough talent to rival them. But as soon as some of these guys get injured, they're toast. Their depth isn't as good as the
Yeah.
Dodgers, both pitching and hitting. But they're still a good team. I still have them at 90 wins. I still have them making the playoffs.
You got the
Whatever
over.
the over under is, I'm taking the over. I think
Yep,
there's just too
86 and
much
a half.
talent. Yeah, I'm just taking the over on that. There's too much talent there for them to not hit 87 at the very least.
Yep. Up next, we have the San Diego Padres at 85 and a half. Would you take this one?
Sure. So the Padres, this is another team
Oh,
that wants.
sorry. Real quick. Breaking news
Du-du-du,
in a different
du-du-du.
sport. The Cincinnati Bengals have finally agreed to a deal with Jamar Chase.
It only took them 35 years.
4 years. Oh wait, they did with both wide receivers. 4 years, $161 million extension for Jamar Chase, so over 40 a year. And then 4 years, $115 million for T. Higgins, which is almost 30 a year.
Well, can they go sign a defensive player to play defense? Because their offense was fine. It
Nope.
was their defense.
Nope, Trey Hendrickson's going to get traded. The defense is going to get worse. Have fun.
Right. So, what I was saying, chat, before we found out that the Bengals paid $270 million to 2 wide receivers and nobody on defense, which they actually need. The Padres are the little brother of the Dodgers. They try to beat the Dodgers. They spent money to go out and get guys, then they traded guys, then they got guys, then they traded guys. You got Luis Arias, Fernando Tatis, Manny Machado, Jackson Merrill, who was absolutely phenomenal last year. Xander Bogaerts, Jay Cronenworth, Connor Joe, former Pirate, at DH. Jason Hayward, and Elias Diaz. I think that this is a team. They're going to need to upgrade that DH position. Connor Joe's not the answer out there. He's good, not great. But you need that DH position to really make sure you solidify some things because the Dodgers sure as hell have their DH solidified. So, having Connor Joe out there, even Jason Hayward, I feel like is more of a liability than anything. But again, the pitching, Dylan Cease, Michael King, Yu Darvish, Nick Pivetta, Randy Vasquez. And then they have Mount Waldron, but he's hurt.
Rip the knuckleball.
Right. This is a team that I think wins. I think this is a team that finishes right behind Arizona. I think this is a team that's 89. I think it's 89 wins. Yeah, they have the talent. It's the pitching for me. I just think that, can Dylan Cease and Michael King produce like they did last year? And if they're not competitive around midsummer, look for them to fire sell those guys and get something because I guarantee you the Padres are going to want to cut bait. I guarantee you they're going to want to trade. They're going to want to try and get something because if it's not working, they're going to blow it up.
Yeah, on that note, how the hell is AJ Preller still the general manager of the Padres?
No idea.
Like at least 3 times, probably more in the last decade. He's gone to the trade deadline in the offseason, making all kinds of big moves, like champions of the offseason, like the Chargers. Champions of the offseason, getting every good player available.
Well, they are in San Diego, so.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're always the champion of the offseason, only to win they've only won like a couple of playoff series since. Like I said, regular season the Padres are probably gonna exceed expectations. They'll be right up there. Let me see, where were they last year? They were a 93 win team. So yeah, even if they drop off a little bit, they'll be fine. I'll take the over too. I wasn't sure at first, but over makes most sense.
Right. And Chairman goes, I had to step away. Have you gotten the World Series predictions? We have not.
Not yet.
Who's going to be in the World Series and why is it Braves versus Tigers? Football wife is probably drunk right now.
Yeah.
Hey, I was high on your Tigers. I'm just letting you know right now. I was high on your Tigers.
Yeah. Yeah, thing. Yeah, we both had them over 83.5, and I think you had them as division winners.
I do.
Yeah, you had them as division winners. I had Cleveland by I think I had Detroit just missing the playoffs. So yeah, he's a whole lot higher on your Tigers than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we both have.
I hope my check's in the mail, Chairman. Thanks.
Yeah. Which we both have over 85.5 for the Padres.
Right. Yep. I just think the talent's there, but again, you're competing with Arizona and LA, and if something is not working, this team's getting blown up.
Yep.
Not literally. I mean, trade it away. Okay, Twitch, don't cancel me for
that. It's okay, YouTube. We'll be fine when this is going up later.
Right.
Yep. Up next, we have the San Francisco Giants at 79.5 to 80.5.
I got them at 500. I think we could save everybody time.
You got over 79.5.
Yeah, barely. I have them at 500. I think they'll be good. They won't be bad, but they won't be anything. You know, I think they're just destined to be 500. I mean, I mean, Lamont Wade Jr., Willie Adames, Jung Ho Lee, Matt Chapman, Elliot Ramos, Yastrzemski, Fitzgerald, Flores, Bailey. I think Adames will be great, but I think the biggest thing is if Lee can step up for them, they can win more than 81, but I have them being like at 500. Logan Webb, Verlander, Ray, Hicks, Harrison.
They did get Oldman Verlander, that's right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I just, they're mid. They're not bad. They're not great.
Yeah. 500. They did lose Blake Snell in free agency.
Right.
You know, honestly, I don't know why the Giants haven't nuked it yet.
I don't either.
Like they have, it seems like ever since their dynasty ended, they have like 1 year every now and then where they let people know they exist. And after that, they come crashing back down to earth. Right. They were an 80-win team last year, which is around where the total is at.
Right. Chairman said if the Wings can pick up the pace, there's a shot for all four Detroit major teams to make the playoffs in the same year, I believe, for the first time ever. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about because I'm a Pirates fan, so.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the under here. I don't like it. Like they still have the same mediocre core that they've had a while, and it's only getting older. They trade out Blake Snow for a very old Justin Verlander, who what does he have in the tank anymore?
I think he's getting paid by 4 teams too. Still.
Yeah. It's like this is the same mediocre core that they've had, and it's only getting older.
Right.
Like, congratulations, you finally got rid of Brandon Crawford. Like that doesn't do anything. We're not going to talk about his time in St. Louis, so that never happened. Colorado, I don't think we have to spend too much time on. They're over under 58.5.
I'll take the over, but barely.
Yeah, it's the same team that it always is.
They'll be better than the White Sox. That's all that matters.
Congratulations, you passed the lowest bar possible.
But you passed the bar.
Yeah. Now the funny thing is, like this probably has the most leeway for betting. It's as low as 58.5, 58.5, and there's a couple of sites that have it as high as 61.5.
Well, that would make sense because their lineup got popped this offseason. They're better than they were last year.
Pop. They're Colorado. They have pop by default.
Well, I'm just saying, Doyle, Estrada, Tovar, Bryant, McMahon, Jones, Toglia, Beck, Stallings, Freeland, Feltner, Gomber, Marquez, Senzatella, Senzatella.
And Chris Bryant still exists for whatever reason.
Right, but this is a team that I think Bryant's there mostly to help the young guys now at this point. But Tovar and Doyle are the future. I think that they have potential. They have pop. Don't forget they have Dollander, who's in the top 25 of the MLB's 100 prospects.
Bulls
So
legend.
yeah, so they have depth in the minor leagues that if they have issues, they can pull them up. There's no issue there. I do think they finish above the 60 win mark. Like I said, that's why I took the over.
Yeah. And of course, they always have offense. They can hit home runs just because they play in the mountains. And everything travels far there. And again, they also... What?
Nothing. I was going because everything goes
Oh,
out of course.
sorry. Sorry, I thought you were like, wait.
No. Wings will have their hands
yeah.
full. It's an uphill battle through the end of the season. Yeah, hockey's crazy. Don't get us started on hockey. We'll be here for another 3 hours.
Exactly.
Anyway, are we ready for the NL Central, our last division?
Yeah. I was just trying to think of what my total would be here for Colorado.
Well, I don't think you have them in the
like
50s, but I don't think you think they're that bad.
Yeah. I mean, they were 61 and 101 last year.
Right. But that's also
back 100 lost seasons.
Right.
Yeah, like I'd lean over. I guess I'll just go over, but that team is still so bad. I know they have youth, but the pitching is going to do literally nothing. Like when you look at your schedule, it doesn't matter what team you play for, even if you're in the American League East. You look at your schedule and you're looking for when you play Colorado because you know you're going to have a career day during that series. You look like, let's see here, we can play them May. Okay, cool. Just got to make it to May. Let's go.
Right.
I'll go over 50 and a half, but not by much.
So you're on the over.
Yep, I don't like it. I don't really like it, though. I don't like the under either, but that team just sucks. Now let's get to ads where we get to ramble on and be salty at literally everything.
Oh, God.
Starting off... Sorry, what?
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Starting off at 85 and a half to 87 and a half, the Chicago Cubs.
You want to take it or you want me to take it?
I guess I'll go ahead and start.
Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
I would say that their main problem has been coaching. Like, granted, people have been injured, but like back when Craig Counsell was with the Brewers, I always called him like he was just a walking pile of mid. Like he was the best coach in he was the best manager in the division, but that's only because everyone else has trash managers here.
Right.
The Chicago Cubs gave him way too much money to get him out of Milwaukee, and he has been a disaster. Guys have not developed. He was supposed to be like a pitching guru. The pitching hasn't worked out. Offense regressed as expected. They haven't really added much. They still have Isaac Paredes, I believe, but there's not a whole lot there to be excited about.
No,
like Counsell's going to have to do a quick... Do what?
He's gone.
Oh, Paredes is gone?
Yeah.
Oh, he's in Houston, ain't he?
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah. But yeah, they're like again, the core is old and most of it's gone anyways. There's not much left on the Cubs. Like again, the division is horrible, so they still have a chance.
Right.
Yeah, last year they were 83 and 79, hovering around 500. They'll probably be there again. So I'll go under 87 and a half.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is a division as a whole that has not been pretty the last couple of years. Previously, decades ago, between 5, 10, 15 years ago, this is a division that had three teams, whether it be the Pirates, Cubs, Cardinals, or Brewers, all had 90-plus wins. We had a year where there's 3 teams with 98 wins, and we had 2 98-win teams have to play in the wild card, which was insane. But this is a team with Ian Happ, Kyle Tucker, Seiya Suzuki, Michael Busch, Dansby Swanson, Pete Crow Armstrong, John Birdie, Matt Shaw, Miguel Amaya, Shota Imananga, Jameson Taillon, Justin Steele, Matthew Boyd, and Colin Ray. Solid, but not elite, but very good. I mean, for this division, it's not going to take that much. And I think Rec will agree. You don't even need to win 90 games to win this division, probably.
Yeah. mean, Brewers did last year. They were pretty
Brewers
good,
did, but I think that this comes. I think the Cubs for me are my division winner, but I think they're going to be. What's the over under?
it's between 85.5 to 87.5.
I'll take the over on the 87.5.
Or over, I mean over 85.
I'll take the over 87.
Oh, well, let me see. Like, which one has better
Yeah,
odds?
whatever has better odds, I don't care. Either way, it's over. So
Really,
I
over
just
80. Real over 87.5 is minus 132, but over 85.5 on the other side is minus one. I mean, maybe you go 86.5 because that's minus 110, but like
yeah, that's fine. Whichever one gives me
those
the best
odds
odds,
do not look right.
but anyway, I'm taking the over. I think that they're going to add a bat by the end of June, July into August. They're going to be in competition. Their hitting is okay, but their pitching is good. The pitching is going to carry, especially the top of that rotation. But I do think they go out and get a bat. Then this isn't even considering Nico Horner, who's hurt. He had surgery on his arm. But yes, the Cubs play in the Tokyo series March 18th and 19th.
Yep, against the Dodgers.
Yep. But Birdie would probably be the second baseman for now. Don't forget that they have Justin Turner too. So
Yeah.
he provides
Old man Justin Turner.
little bit of an old man pop there. And Carson Kelly will also be behind the plate. They're going to obviously do hybrid catchers there, but
Carson Kelly's gonna be known for nothing else more than the dude that got traded for Paul Goldschmidt.
Right. And this is a team that's they're pretty good in the pitching rotation. If the bullpen can hold its own, this is a team that can win 90 games. But I have them around 88.
Yeah. So up next we got the Milwaukee Brewers between 83.5 and 84.5. You can have fun with this one.
Yeah, it's the Brewers. You never count them out. This is a team that could go 83 and 79, but the next year go 93 and 69, or they completely smoke everybody out of the water. But Jackson Chourio, up and coming stud. William Contreras, not Wilson. Christian Yelich, Rhys Hoskins, Joey Ortiz, Mark Canha, Sal Frelick, Caleb Durbin, or Vinny Capra, and then Bryce Terang. Lefreddy Peralta, Nestor Cortez, Nasty Nestor. Tobias Myers, Aaron Savale, and Aaron Ashby. This isn't even including their best pitcher, which was Brandon Woodruff, because he's been hurt. But this is a team I think is going to finish right up there with Chicago. What's their over-under?
83.5 to 84.5.
I'm going to take the 84.5. I'm going to take the over, but only by a half game.
Yeah.
They're good, but they're not great. They have power.
Yeah.
But
this does feel a little bit like a trap.
Right.
They won 93 last year, and it drops down to 83.5. See, like some of these lines have it going had the Brewers finishing 10 games worse than they did.
But that's because the Brewers also had Woodruff, but now he's hurt. So it depends on how he comes back from that injury, if you ask me.
I think he was. I feel like I remember him being hurt at the beginning of last year too. Like Willie Peralta was their top guy for a while until Woodruff came back.
That's correct.
So yeah, so that was the thing. I do like the new manager Pat Holberg a lot. We'll see how he does in his second year, but as long as he doesn't have a sophomore slump, the Brewers should be able to hit the over without a problem. This is my pick to win the division. I think they do it back-to-back years. We mentioned Chourio. They've always been a team with great pitching. They just they produce them out of an assembly line, almost like the Mariners.
Right.
Yeah. They're going to be a pain for everyone to deal with. I'd say 8. Yeah, taking them at 83.5, and I think that's an easy over.
Right. That's what I was saying. Like, it's over, but how much is it over? Like, you know what I mean? Especially if their pitching is hurt.
Yeah, even if it's just like by a few. Like, I still think they'll like hover around 90 wins, maybe a little less.
Is that because they're good, or the Central's that bad?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yes, option C, all the above.
Mm-hmm.
Up next, we have the Cincinnati Reds,
I'll
who
take this one, so that way
yep,
you can take your Cardinals.
yep, yep, they're currently listed at 70.5 to 80.5.
I got this team taking the over. I got them finishing about at 500. Um, this is a team that. Oh, hold on! I just got a new follow. Worth, thank you for the follow. What's
Hell
up? Yes, an
yeah.
FMF doc. Yes, that is me. I am an FMF doc. That is correct. I did 8 years in the Navy. Worked with the Marine Corps my last 3 years. Yes, sir.
Nice.
Um, okay, so the Reds: McLean, De La Cruz, Steer, Candelario, Friedel, Lux, Hayes, Fraley, Trevino, Green, Singer, Martinez, Lodolo, Louder. I think it's a team that's like again good, not great, not sucky, enough to be right here. And I
Yeah.
think with the division as bad as the Central is, I think they're going to be competitive. Um, we obviously know about Ellie De La Cruz and Hunter Green. You know, those are the faces of the franchise. But I just think that this is a team that finishes maybe third. If they're lucky, again, 500 at the max. So what was their over under?
78.5 to 80.5. Would you have them again?
I was gonna say right at 500. So I'll take
82. So yeah, you take the over.
no, I'll take I'll take the over, but barely. I'll take an 81.
Yeah. Yeah, the main problem here, actually there's a couple. One is the pitching. They didn't add much to it. Like Taylor Rogers is pretty good, but like he's not going to move the needle for the Cincinnati Reds at all. Like you got Brent Suter back, who I actually don't know how he's good. He throws 85-mile-an-hour fastballs down the middle and it works.
I don't know. Ask Jamie Moyer how he lasted so long in the league.
Yeah. Yeah, Hunter Green is going to have to carry this pitching core because he's not going to get a lot of help from the other stars or the bullpen. And
Right.
then the young offense is still inconsistent, not as much of a human coin flip as it once was, but it still lacks consistency. That
Right.
said, they were a 77 win team last year, and they should be a little bit better. Oh, they did hire Terry Francona to be their manager, so that should be an upgrade from David Bell.
Right. And that's why I was saying because they have a decent roster. It's kind of like he's gonna coach them up a little bit. And like I said, I think they'd
Yes.
be a sub 500 team. But because they have Francona, I think they hit 500 or a little bit above, like right around that area.
Yeah. So it's not. Yeah, they're not going to compete for the playoffs really, but they'll be around 80 wins. So I'll take the over. Take the over on 70.5.
Right.
Yeah, and here comes Payne.
I'm gonna take a code yellow while you go on your rant.
All right, fun with that. So, as I mentioned earlier when STG asked, I am a St. Louis Cardinals fan. This team upsets me a lot. So the over-under total here is between 76 and 77.5. They have a lot of offensive talent, but this team is so hell-bent on using analytics that they don't know actually how to like translate them. This is more of a rant on analytics in the Cardinals, but there there are some teams that use analytics correctly. The Tampa Bay Rays have always been at the forefront of that. And now you have some of these large market teams using it right, like the Dodgers, and they figure out how to do it right. And then you have some of these other people who just stare at numbers and expect people to hit said numbers and magically everything works. Doesn't always work like that, and the Cardinals have yet to understand that. Luckily, they did fire the hitting coach at the end of the season. I don't. She forgot who I think like the new guy. I don't know how he'll do. I hope he at least understands analytics a little bit more to know how to apply them. Unlike the last couple of hitting coaches. But yeah, the lineup has plenty of talent. Mason Wynn was a great rookie last year. Alec Burson had his breakout season. Young guy, he could play outfield, first base, DH. He's good there. You got Wilson Contreras, who's still here, which I'll get another man on him later on. Not his fault. Arenado's still here for now, but who knows how long that will be. Got Jordan Walker, a former top prospect, who, by the way, was ranked above Ellie De La Cruz, Jackson Chourio, and Jackson Holiday. He was ranked above all those guys. And yet the Cardinals haven't figured out how to get him to hit. Brandon Donovan was up there for Rookie of the Year with Spencer Strider a couple years ago. There's talent all over the offense. The team just has no clue how to use it properly. That's why this team's so offensively bad. Now, with Wilson Contreras, Doc, since you're back, tell me, how many times in your career have you seen a guy get paid 8 figures only for the team to do everything they can to make him play out of position all the time?
Oh, well, I'm a Pirates fan, so I've seen it too.
You don't pay people 8 figures, so you won't actually see that.
Yeah, yes, I do. There it goes. And a Porga. No.
But yeah, I don't know if you remember 2 years ago when Ollie Marmol decided to blame all the team's problems on Wilson Contreras and make him DH.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, and they tried to make him play outfield, but he told them to eat shit, which that experiment only lasted 2 weeks of him DHing. This year, they made the decision to make him the full-time first baseman to replace Goldie.
What do you think?
I think it's stupid. Like, the problem, obviously, no matter who you get, it's a downgrade from Yachty.
Oh, anybody is a downgrade from Yachty. You kidding me? He's one of the best all time.
Exactly. The Cardinals don't know that. Like, Wilson Contreras was not Yachty.
Right.
You have Ivan Herrera, who kind of has the offensive like prime Yachty, and you have Pedro Pages, who has the defensive prime Yachty. Maybe not like the baseball IQ, but just pure defensive skills.
Right.
Well, Contreras is in the middle, but he's not Yachty, so the team's trying to screw him at every chance.
Right.
Like, I hope, and honestly, for his sake, I hope someone trades for him at the deadline. Any catch-a-needy team gets Contreras.
I mean, we would take him in a heartbeat.
Yeah, Ollie Marmol, worst manager in baseball. I know, like, a lot of you hear me talk about coaching, especially in football, especially with my Steelers, but Ollie Marmol is a horrible coach. Why is he still here? What are the Cardinals doing? Pitching coach, I kind of like him. Like, it's funny talk about how the offense has so much talent but does nothing. Pitching core doesn't have a lot of talent, but they're usually the ones that carry. I mean, you got Sonny Gray, you got Ryan Helsley, who was like probably better than Clase last year as a closer. But outside of that, there's not a whole lot of talent. They were making it work with Andrew Kittredge and JoJo Romero relieving.
You think
Michaelis?
You think Gorman slides in? You think Gorman slides to third if Arenado gets traded?
I think he'd say it's second, and then third would be between Cesar Prieto and Thomas Sajazi, although Sajazi just got sent down, so Prieto would probably get first crack at it.
Okay.
But yeah, like pitching-wise, like you got Miles Michaelis, who, if he can learn to throw strike, if he can learn to get swings and misses in 2-strike counts, he'd be elite. He's really good at getting to strike 2, getting the hitter behind, but doesn't know what to do from there. I guess there is a little bit of a youth movement. You got Michael McGreevy coming up, who had 1 start last year, dominated in it actually. Like, there's gonna be a lot of no names, but with this pitching coach, they should at least be solid. The offense should be there. The offense should be really good, but I don't trust this team to do the right thing offensively. I don't trust them to develop Jordan Walker, even though they did somehow turn Mason Wynn into one of the greatest contact hitters in the sport, which I don't fucking know. And over under total 76 to 77.5. I'll take the over just because of the pure talent they have combined with their ability to to make something out of nothing with pitching.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I heard everything you said, and we talk all the time being rivals in the NL Central, and I think I agree with everything you said. So put me down for the same thing. I just
Yeah.
think I just think with where we're at with our teams, it's just a big giant question mark.
Yeah. Yeah, at very least for the Cardinals, this is the last year of it because John Mozeliak is going to be gone, and then with that, Ollie Marmol was probably going to finally get fired.
Right.
And now I'm going to take my code yellow. Have fun.
Thanks. So as you guys know, or may not know, I'm a Pirates fan. I am a Pirates fan thick and through all the good, all the bad, the 3 years that we were good in the early 2010s. Um, this is a team that frustrates the heck out of me, but also surprises the heck out of me. This is a team that could do really good or could be really bad, but the problem is it just feels like sometimes we have talent that we call it up. Great, cool, he does great. Like last year, we had Paul Skeens, the hype, everything. He lived up to it. Won Rookie of the Year, had one of the best pitching stats of all time. He came up in May, so obviously he didn't have a full season, but with he went what did he go? 133 innings, gave up only 29 runs, an ERA of 1.96. The Pirates, he went 11-3. The Pirates were a much better team when he was on the mound. With the pitching rotation that we're gonna have this year, it's gonna be tough. I think we're gonna have Kutch, Reynolds, Cruz, Bart, Gonzalez, Triolo, Hayes, Pham, Kiner, Falefa, Skeens, Keller, Jones, Haney, and Falter. You take a look at our lineup. Our lineup is okay. Cruz going to center field helps us out immensely. So that lets us slide Kutch to DH. Our outfield will be Pham, Cruz, and Reynolds. We have a 6'7" center fielder, so we can be robbing home runs that are like 5 feet over the wall. So it's great. But Brian Reynolds has been consistent. He's hit 24 home runs, 27 home runs, 24 home runs, and 24 home runs in the last 4 seasons, which shows why he was deserving of the contract that he got. But I think it's on him, O'Neill, Cruz, and Skeens this year on whether or not how we do in the NL Central. Every year we have an opportunity to take it. Every year the NL Central is not as good as the other divisions. That being said, I think Mitch Keller has to be better this year. Bailey Falter has to be better this year. Jared Jones has to be better this year. This is also a team that cut Rowdy Tellez from getting his $400,000 bonus or whatever it was because he was slumping. But I love the team to death. Key Bryan, I really hope your offense comes back. We need a little bit of speed. Cruz had 22 stolen bases last year to go with his 21 homers. I think if Cruz can really pop into his potential, we're looking at a 35 home run kind of guy, a 35-35 kind of guy, a minimum of a 30-30 guy. But the core group is fine, but we need to develop at other positions. We had Connor Joe last year. Michael A. Taylor was here. Joey Bart has done pretty good. He had 13 homers and 45 RBIs for us and 253 at bats. I think that he'll be solid in that cleanup. Nick Gonzalez is coming to his own a little bit. Triolo has played better. Hayes won a Gold Glove, but it's just so frustrating because he was supposed to be a 5-tool guy and he's shown us 3 of them. IKF will be all right at short. I think we're going to probably do a platoon. Plus, Triolo will be at first until Horowitz comes back, a guy that we literally went out and got, and then he immediately gets surgery. So that was fun. But we also have to remember that we have pitching and hitting down in the minor leagues. We still have one of the best rotations, I think, especially with the youth movement coming up from Double-A and Triple-A with Bubba Chandler and Thomas Harrington. Bubba might even start the season on the team, which would make us even better. But the back end, Bednar's got to get better. He was terrible on and off the season. I don't know what's going on with him. They need to figure him out, and if not, get him out of here for somebody that's a little bit more consistent. I love the guy, but your consistency just hasn't been there.
Or Sky says, put him down.
Right. Put him down.
Put him to bed.
Put him to bed. Because he needs a nap or something. Because he was great and then just was terrible for stretches.
Except
and I don't know
against
if it's
St. Louis,
mental.
whatever.
What's
Except
that?
against St. Louis, then he was God mode.
Right. But everybody else, he sucked. And I don't know what the problem is, but he needs to fix it. Go see a psychologist or mental health professional. Get your head back in it. Because you used to be dominant, bro. I love you to death, but gotta get back to where you were. That being said, I think what is it, 73.5?
Yeah, I know it's a 76 to 77.5.
I'm gonna take the under.
Ooh.
Just for the simple fact, the back end of the bullpen, the back end of the rotation, and our lineup is good but not great. The bottom of that lineup does not strike fear into anybody, even signing Pham, which brings us a little bit of something, a little bit of fire. Might be what the young guys need, but as a Pirates fan, this is one of the most frustrating teams to watch because I know the potential's there and I know that they're good, but they just don't show it on the field all the time. Like, we'll go out, like, what was it, last year, the year before when the Astros won the World Series and we were the only team to sweep them? We literally swept them in the middle of the world. They were getting ready to do a postseason run, and we swept them in like June or July, and we were the only team to do it, and we destroyed them. And somebody was like, the only reason why the Pirates won is because the Pirates don't even know what they're doing for them to bang on trash cans. So it was funny. We're the running gag of baseball. I get it. But I'm proud of this team. I think that this team I am more than you are the Cardinals. I'll tell you that. I think that we'll beat the Cardinals out if it's not this year, next year, because Bubba will be up, Harrington will be up. We have a couple other pitchers, and what's his name? Our second baseman that's down in the minors. He's getting ready to come up to AAA. Tramar. So I think the future's bright, but we got to deal with everything that's going on in Pittsburgh right now, which sucks because we have a beautiful ballpark. If you guys haven't been to PNC Park, you guys need to come out here. It's beautiful, beautiful on a summer day. Get there, you eat, then you can walk across the Clemente Bridge, go into downtown Pittsburgh, go see a show, go to the comedy club. It's beautiful, beautiful city, beautiful area to drive around. But Pirates, man, get your stuff together, please, because these gray hairs, they're from you. But yeah, I have the under.
At least you still have your hairline.
Yeah, I know. Thank God.
Yeah, I've got like a little tuft here and nothing right here.
No, that's because after 2016 or 2017 when we beat your Preds, that's why.
Consume dong. So Pirates, like, as long as Paul Skeens stays healthy throughout the year, I mean that's 15-20 wins guaranteed.
If we get Prime Jones though, that's at least 12 to 15.
Yeah. Of course, as you mentioned, like you have three really good pitchers, like a handful of maybe three really good hitters, and that's about it. Like the Pirates are probably the most top-heavy team in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've got a lot of elite. You've got quite a few elite stars, and then nothing after that.
Nope.
Yeah. That they did win 76 games last year.
Yeah.
And I feel like they should be a little bit better, especially since Skeens is coming in early. He's playing the whole. He's at least starting early.
Yeah, but he can only pitch once every 5 days there, bro. So
I know.
Temper your expectations.
Yeah, I know. like this is around like mid-70s is about where they're going to be.
Right, and that's why I was just saying the under, just for the simple fact that I think they're beginning of the season, if their schedule is okay, they're fine. But as soon as we run into that stretch of, like Chicago, and then even St. Louis, then Cincinnati, and you got the Cubs, you got all these NL Central games, Milwaukee, then we turn into the AA, AAA team. So
Yeah. So yeah, I'll take the under as well. We can do a quick count.
W Knight and W hairline. St. Louis might hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Cards. The Cards and the Pirates are the biggest question marks in the Central.
Yeah. I'm just looking real quick. We disagree on 9 teams, on just 9.
Yeah, I mean, I figured there'd be some, but I mean, like I said, some of those you're barely under, some of those I'm barely, it's not like we're split apart by 10, 20 games or anything like that. It's just a little minor, couple games here or there difference.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course we're split on the White Sox.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just getting this one screenshot to throw in the chats. So while I do that, what are your World Series predictions?
Dodgers at a minimum. I think everybody and their mother has them.
Yeah.
But I would say Dodgers, and if I had to absolutely, if it's a perfect world and they're healthy, I'll say the Braves.
You think the Braves go in the NL?
Go in the NL. Well, that's the thing. If the Braves are healthy, I have them going in the NL. But if they're not, it's the Dodgers. So I'll end up having. I'll have my asterisk. Again, you gotta send it to me.
Yep, I did.
Okay. The Dodgers are my favorite, and then I think the Braves are the second ones. If they can get healthy and everything's on full cylinders for them, then I think it's the Braves.
Yep, who do you
But
have from the AL?
the AL is going to be AL. Let me. Um, the AL most likely will either be. I think it's going to be somebody from the East. It's either going to be. I think it's. Well, I wouldn't say somebody from the East. I think it's either going to be the Yankees or it could be the Rangers. Just like again what we talked about, if everybody's healthy and that team is on all cylinders. So I'll go Dodgers. I'm going to go basic and go with a rematch of the Dodgers and Yankees, but I don't think the Yankees make it that far just because they don't have Cole this time. So I think
Yep,
they
no
get
Cole, no
there, but they
Soto.
get beat again if they do make it.
Yeah.
I think it's the NLs. It's the NLs to win again.
Yeah. From the AL, I think if Stephen Vogt grows as a manager as opposed to having the sophomore slump, I think the Guardians are going to make it out of the AL. I think Cleveland gets a World Series appearance at least.
Right.
From the NL, I mean, Dodgers, like, obvious choice is obvious there. I had to go Dodgers. Yeah, I'm going Dodgers Guardians.
Yeah, I mean that you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. I know it's basic to go LA, but I don't feel like I don't really have a choice in the matter here. AL is wide open for the taking though.
Right.
Yeah, there's 6 playoff teams each year. There's more than 6 teams where you can make a case for them making a deep playoff run. NL, there's only a couple of teams where you could say like, yeah, they could probably make it far. Like Dodgers, Braves, Phillies, about it. I don't trust anyone from the Central. I don't trust anyone in the West after LA.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like I just think that the NL is just it's too good.
Yeah. So yeah, you said you got Dodgers, Yankees, and I got Dodgers, Guardians.
Yeah, as much as I say Yankees, but again, like I said, it doesn't really matter who comes out of the AL. They're getting beat by the Dodgers. So
Yeah. Which is part of the reason why I took the over. It's like they're just gonna run through people.
right.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? Anything we should cover? We good.
No, I think we're good. I think we're
All right.
almost 3 hours in. I appreciate everybody that hung out tonight. I'm
Yep.
gonna go
Appreciate.
ahead and rate out. So
Yep. You do that. Thanks to everyone for coming on. Thanks, Doc, for joining me here.
of course, and we'll be doing
Yep.
more baseball stuff. not only just here, but Action Lab. We'll probably end up doing a Thursday every once in a while for power rankings once baseball starts back up. So check out the Action Lab Twitch channel as well.
Yep.
Thanks, Rick.
I will be back. No problem. I'll be back on Friday for more of the usual stuff. And I don't know if and there goes Doc, but yeah, I don't think the Grizzlies are playing, so I think I'm just gonna end up doing like a video game of sorts. Doc, you're still live. I can still see your screen. Hey. Okay, there you go. Which thanks to everyone that came out. We'll see y'all on Friday, probably playing a video game or something. Maybe go back to Half-Life for the blind run, and I'll see y'all there. Bye, everybody.